Children. Hey, and we're live. I think it came in when I was like, children. That's hilarious. Welcome, everybody. Another Friday evening. BAOS. 7 weeks running we've been doing this.
Hello, everyone. Has it been 7 weeks?
It's been 7 weeks.
That's crazy. We've been quarantined for over 8 weeks then.
Yeah, we've been quarantined.
We only started this. Oh, yeah, I guess it's March 13th.
It was, for us, the last day we left the house was March 13th for the collab with Woodbreads.
Wow.
Which is kind of wild.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, I think technically that was a Friday, and the Sunday the 15th, I think that was the day that,
that Trudeau said, like, hey, everyone, everything's done now. Okay, yeah. Crazy.
I know.
All right, well,
it's
episode 7, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess should we just get her fucking going?
Let's get her effing going. We have a special guest today.
We've been having, we got, basically going to be special guests from now on, which is dope.
Yeah, they're all very special. They're all very special coming up.
It's great. We're just, hogging it right now. We're just talking to all our friends first.
Yeah.
And then we'll start moving out, but they're probably also just going to be mates and stuff. But we're open to a lot. So actually, before I even start, if there's any brewers or anyone like that watching who thinks I'd like to be on, like to be a guest in the future, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, whatever. We're definitely interested in talking to people, because now we can talk to people in places that, before it was all about can we get there, because we have to film it, we have to do it in the breweries. Yeah, now it's like this. I'm just down. I just want to talk to cool people, and we have the capability. We haven't tried it yet, but we can bring in multiple people on one.
I look forward to testing that.
Yeah, so I'm keen for that one. So basically, the point is, if anyone's interested, let's get her going. So, all right, so let me just do that. Okay, we good?
Yep.
What's good, y'all? This is C, Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 7 of Beer Nuts, the podcast, our quarantine edition from our adjunct series. Once again, as always, I have my co-host Tiffany Alexis with me. How you doing, man?
Hello, everybody. I am great. How are you?
I am delightful. It is Friday.
Just quarantining and chilling,
It's really all any of us are doing. Well, except half of Quebec, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
It's a whole other conversation.
Stay home, stay safe.
Stay home, stay safe. Exactly right. So if you've been listening the last 4 weeks, we have had 3 weeks, I guess. This is the 4th in a row we have had guests. We have been focusing thus far on our personal friends in the game, our beer media mates, people that we've had on the podcast before.
Look, I can kind of hear in the background there.
Yes, but you can't because I muted them.
Oh.
I muted this.
Oh, that's why I can hear
Skype thing. Okay. Yeah, right. So this evening you would have seen this gentleman last on, we did a top 10 breweries in Quebec and a collaboration giveaway at the top of last year with for the holidays, which was really, really fun. It was a great episode, and the contest was sick. It was the biggest thing we'd ever done.
Yeah, it was huge.
All the top 10 breweries were very, very gracious with donating their prizes. So that was a lot of fun. We had the blackout during that video, which was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The film with
by candlelight. That was actually really romantic and sweet.
It was, we made it work. We
just hung out in the dark for hours after that.
I think it was 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
It wasn't as bad as we thought.
But it was a good time.
Exactly. So it was a good time. So this gentleman, you would know him from his podcast, Vox Hops, and from his world-famous metal band, Cryptopsy. Matt McGachy, my mans, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Likewise, man. The last time we spoke, it was a drunken evening, I think it was on Zoom, even funnier enough. I think it was just like, yo, what are you doing? And it was 2 a.m. and everyone was trashed, and it was a good time.
It was, we got, on my side, I got pretty intense.
Yeah, you were wild, bro. I was drinking water by the end of it, and you just kept going, grabbing another 7% IPA. It was beautiful to watch.
Every Thursday I get my delivery from Vitsundiaya, and nice. I went a bit deep that day. It was after a Vox Hops Thirsty Thursday hang. I was on a high. And I called you, and we hung out until 2, 3 in the morning. And I woke up the next morning going, "What the hell did we talk about?"
I think it was 3:30, just to be clear.
Wow.
Right?
We always end up talking a lot, so you guys are in for a good one tonight.
Oh yeah, it's always like what we were saying earlier. It's like, oh damn, how long is this going to be? But I feel like like I was saying, the camera batteries die at about 2.25, 2.5 hours. So that's usually keeps us going. Otherwise, we literally could just be here all night and yapping away.
Oh yeah,
it's wild. I love it. So first things first, Uncle Matty, we have 3 beers each this evening that we're going to be going through. The second one, we actually have the same beer. That huge thanks to a good friend of ours. We'll give him a shout when we get to it. And then we have a similar-ish beer for the last one. But this first one is a fun one. Do you want to tell them about your beer for this one?
Yes. This is a very special beer to me because it was brewed for a party that never happened, thanks to the world that we live in right now, COVID world. I am the sponsor of a tour called Devastation on the Nation, which is a metal tour which my band Cryptopsy has headlined in the past. And this year's lineup was Rotting Christ, Borknagar, Wolfheart, Abigail Williams, and Imperial Triumphant. And I was doing these after parties or pre-show parties at craft beer places in Canada. I had one in Vancouver, I had one in Toronto, I had one here in Montreal, I had one in Quebec City, and in Toronto, Henderson Brewing Company very graciously actually brewed a beer for it, and this is called Devastation. It is a black lager. It is my first canned collab, so I was super stoked, and huge shout out to Jamie Morris for nicely making sure that I got a few of these so that I can share them with my friends and use them during things such as this and just to enjoy. So this is a black lager. It clocks in at 7.6%.
It's a big.
It is absolutely delicious. Yeah.
A black lager at 7%.
Wow.
That's boozy as hell. Is it? Does the booze hidden in the darker malts?
Absolutely. You don't taste it whatsoever. It's like super malty caramel, and then with a super hoppy bite. It's absolutely fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah, Henderson are really, really great with this type of style. They do traditional stuff like super
really
well. Yeah. I'm appreciating them more and more because at first they weren't super interesting to me. Then we went there and we tried a bunch of stuff, and then they've been sending their PR stuff.
And we spoke with the owner, and he took us around. And
and it kind of just like, all right, I get what you're really doing. Sometimes you don't understand what's happening with a brewery until you sort of go there, visit, talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Noah Forrest is saying too much sexy on the screen right now.
Well, thank you, Noah.
Get off my wife, Noah. Oh, and Noah said, go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say, just wait till we all do this together, and then the world will just crumble.
It's going to be over. I think we're going to break life. We're going to break it. He also said he didn't get a can.
It's coming. It's coming.
Good mate.
I have to make a trip to the mailbox for all of you.
There you go.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm excited to get that. And Steve out there in Brizzy says metal in all caps. He's back. Steve, do you know Cryptopsy? Let me know if you know Maddie's band. Have you guys toured Australia? You guys toured Australia, I'm sure, right?
I have toured Australia once. The band has toured Australia, I want to say 3 times in total. I could be wrong there. Correct me if anyone knows. But I have gone to Australia once. We did Sydney, Melbourne.
It's Melbourne.
Perth. And Adelaide, does that make sense?
Yep. They're the only cities that anyone ever goes to.
So that's what we did, and we started off in Wellington, New Zealand.
Nice.
Which had a crazy cool craft beer scene, actually.
Yo, dude, New Zealand is out of control. Like, killing the game. Noah with the love hearts. Love you, Noah. They have a beer festival every year called Beervana, and it's like all the Aussies go out there. Like, the best beer in the Southern Hemisphere is definitely... Like, Australia is a very close second, but New Zealand is dominating.
Yeah, I had a good time at the Garage Project.
Garage Project, yeah, they're killing it. Yeah, they're very good. They do a lot of imports into Australia, luckily. So whenever I go back, I get to try them. They do a lot of. They were the early adopters for the haze.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, people weren't there. So crack your beer, and as in the same theme, we are rocking out. Hang on, let me just front of my face. There we go. It's all backwards. Our collab with Echo Session Ales and Broadway Microbrasserie Love Dust, a Session Kvik New England IPA with red glitter dust that I really thought people would be like beer purists.
What to taste now?
Yeah, this is actually canned in January.
Yeah.
Oh
shit.
Luckily,
professional people.
Luckily, it didn't go on the carpet here.
Well, kudos to that magazine, eh?
Jesus Christ.
Well, goodbye to that one.
I loved it. I love that beer, actually.
Yeah. It came out, it just exploded, so I don't know, it was, so I guess we'll see how it goes. We brewed it, it was canned January 16th, so that makes it 4 months old, and it's technically, even though it's glitter, I have to go actually wash my hands, because I can't just dry this for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna...
I'm gonna, like,
okay.
Or I can talk a bit, don't worry.
Yes, but yeah, it was like some concern. So do you want to talk about your beer, and I will go and wash myself?
Sure. This beer pours out nice and dark. The Devastation from Henderson Brewing Company from Toronto. It smells like slightly sweet malty. Yeah, high on that hop bite right at the end. Delicious, malty profile. Love it to death. Super stoked that I got to have this. And I really, really liked Love Dust. As much as everyone, it got a lot of attention because of the glitters in it. It is actually a good beer at the end of the day, and I think that's really important. And
because he's an actual podcaster.
I told JF this, and I'll tell you. I don't know if I told you. It's the Rammstein of craft beers, because Rammstein is pretty good for a metal band, but it's all about the show. But luckily, their music is great, and the songs are catchy. So luckily, Love Dust is actually a good beer. No. And I really like it's got the Sabro hops in it. I love Sabro hops to death. It's my hop of choice right now.
I heard that Sabro is the most fire of all the hops. You use Sabro in a dark lager?
No, I'm talking about your beer.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Tell it. Doing me job for me. Yeah, it's. I'll see if I can pour it for a can because it's just like foaming up a ton. Wow. It's just we're sitting on like a rug, and like a bright red beer would be not
a devastation.
Fun. Careful if you knock that.
It would be a devastation.
Oh, Tiff, you are a marketing genius.
Fine with the theme, you know.
We still have more, but I don't know if you can really see the
yeah, I don't know if you can see it in the camera there, but
yeah, a little bit.
She's looking good. She's still there.
So we'll top it up as we go. So did you talk through the tasting notes of your one?
I did, yes. And then I said that your beer is the Rammstein of craft beers because Rammstein is a metal band that has a crazy good show, but they actually have good songs.
Right.
And that's what your beer could have been. It could have just been all about the show, but the beer is actually quite good.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. It's one that came out good. So first of all, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, Maddie. Cheers, everyone watching.
Cheers.
What are you guys all drinking? Let us know. Not bad still.
Hey, yeah.
4 months old. Still hoppy. Still tastes the Sabro. Got the same dusty profile it had.
Yeah. I like it. I'm happy with
that.
Not mad. For sure.
Yeah, not mad at all.
Do you think that it has more life because of the Kvik in it?
Do you know what? That's actually a really great point. It might be a little bit elongated as opposed to other yeasts. I guess the hops will probably drop first because technically, like the beer itself, when you see it before the glitter dust, you're welcome. It's like bright yellow. It looks like any other New England IPA. So yeah. I would imagine that it would probably drop. Like the color hasn't changed at all.
No.
But like it looks exactly still just a shimmery.
Still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm happy with that.
Cool. Yeah,
look at that. 2 collabs. Steve in Brizzy is saying, yes, I love me some death metal. It's kind of a bit freaking awesome just having Matt react to my comment. So he's very happy.
Oh, cute. Oh, sorry.
Cheers to Steve. And just to go the other way, Noah says, get your shit together, guys.
You get love and hate on this YouTube platform, you know.
Someone else said, movies for dudes. Says, wait, the guy from Cryptopsy does a metal craft beer podcast? So tell us about that, man.
Damn right he does.
Absolutely. So Vox and Hops is all about me sitting down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I started this in October 2018, and I have just released today episode number 143. It has been a wild ride. I love it. I've always loved craft beer, obviously like metal, and whenever I was out on tour, I would always just sit down with anyone that I was touring with and just pick their brain. I always tend to ask, in a nice way, interesting questions that nobody wants to answer, but they tend to tell me. So I decided to start recording these conversations and sharing it with all of you out there. So that's Vox and Hops. Right now with the pandemic, I am releasing 3 episodes a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I hope to keep up the pace, but we'll see how that goes as life somewhat returns to normal if I ever get sent back to work full time.
Right. That's dope. It's good that you stepped up the content.
Yeah, that content production's crazy.
Took advantage of the whole situation very, very well. Big ups. And we're going to actually talk about another one of your initiatives, your Thirsty Thursday. So technically that's 4 nights a week you're dropping content.
Yeah.
Yes, I love my Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
Something, you want to talk about it now? You want to go on to later?
Yes. You know what? Might as well talk about it. Let's address these 2 comments. Salmoose says, isn't Sabro relatively new on the market? Yes, that is correct. It's probably 6 to 12 months old, probably closer to 12, maybe even older. It tastes a lot like coconut. So we put it in this beer specifically, as Matt likely explained, it just like complemented the other hops. So the tropical fruit and then the like banana phenolic kind of vibes you get from the Kvik in New England would have been complemented nicely by the Sabro and the coconut vibes, which of course, unfortunately, would drop over time. So when it was fresher, you probably get that coconut punch. Do you get it much?
Yeah, I still get a little.
Still get it because I know you're sensitive to coconut because you don't love it. Yeah,
but I know it doesn't. It's good here.
Yeah, it's good. And Noah says,
"Love Sabro. It's my hop at the moment." Yeah.
Yep, same, 100%. I got a question for you as well. Noah says, I think it's the Kvik helps, so that's good.
Okay.
What's your fave hop of all time?
Oh, it was Mosaic. When I designed the Vox and Hops logo, I sent the artist an actual picture of a Mosaic hops.
Right.
That was my hop for up until Sabro took over.
When was it Sabro?
I don't know when I got Sabro first. What was the first one? I think it was actually from Ras L'Bock.
Yeah, they did one.
I think they did.
Okay.
Or was it from Noctum? I can't quite remember, but I remember just there's something. I guess it's the coconut. I find it like it's like flowery.
It's glorious. Yeah.
I love it to death. And there's that new experimental hop that went into the Combat de Chief.
Yeah. The Lagabière
hops. One of them, I believe it's the red one, has a similar profile to Sabro, has that coconutty feel.
Okay.
So I hope that's the one that becomes a real thing, because I like, we need more Sabro and more coconutty beers in our life.
Could not agree more, sir. It's super, super fire. My favorite was always Idaho 7, which is like an underrated hop, I find. And you don't see it as much, but whenever I do, like Nate, actually, funnily enough, and Nathan does beer, said the same, it's his fave, and I'd like Sabro, though, like, if I had the choice, I'd take Sabro right now, but up until Sabro, same deals as Mosaic, I'd say definitely Idaho 7, super fire. Did you have
I'm just a classic, I guess, is Citra.
Citra?
Very classic.
Yeah? All the way through?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you know more about it than maybe you'd notice more when you're drinking it.
Yeah, I feel like if I just have it in like a single hop IPA or something, I'm pretty happy with it.
Pick up the old cat piss.
It's not something like Galaxy that like is so intense to me or something like that. So.
Yeah, Galaxy's really intense. It's great. It's just intense.
Yeah.
First,
sorry, Big Secret. Big Secret's my favorite.
Oh, Big Secret. You said that the other day, actually. Yes, we were talking about it. That's a great hop too.
Yeah. And represent. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Represent. Maddie, Thirsty Thursdays, mate. So, aside from the podcast, so you've been doing this, just describe what it is. I haven't actually been able to join. I can't remember why. Maybe because you go 7 o'clock and I'm on late.
We're usually having coffee at 7.
8 o'clock. I do it 8 o'clock. It's
8, okay.
Because my work, like a lot of other works, started doing staff meetings. We do weekly staff meetings. Because I work as I'll just touch on this to paint a picture. I work in ECE, early childhood education. It is providing services right now for essential workers. Luckily, there weren't too many children that were coming, so that we did a volunteer-based who wanted to go in. Me not living close to my center, not wanting to take public transport, opted out of volunteering, so I've been staying home and doing online trainings and doing some meetings and stuff so that we can communicate with the families and still be in touch with the children that we take care of day to day. And it was the first time that I ever experienced using Zoom, and we were 23 people on a meeting, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is also what sparked, I can do interviews like this. This works for me. I can make this happen. So right after that, I started scheduling, and then I had the idea of doing, what if I did just like a group hang, where I invite Vox and Hops alumni, some of my friends, and we just hang out and drink some craft beer and have a chat. And just, I kind of said, it's open to anyone. There's a super cool kid named Hollis. Shout out to Hollis. He's an absolute gem of a human. He's 14 years old.
Nice.
He comes every week, and he's so creative, a young musician. He's so cool. And it's just grown from there, and it's really grown into something very interesting, where at the peak I had, we were 50 people.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
At one point, because there's some couples on. Let's say there was 42 participants in the Zoom meeting with a bunch of couples.
That's amazing.
I organize it and I lead the whole conversation. We do a roundtable discussion. I shoot out like a question such as, what was your first metal concert? Introduce yourself. What are you drinking? There's no pressure to have to drink. It's really just a hangout. And people have really enjoyed this. to the point where I've created a Facebook group for it. And I felt like I had to, because as the weeks were going on, I was watching them interact on Facebook, just commenting on each other's posts and becoming friends because of Thirsty Thursday hangs. It's I would have never imagined that me just wanting to hang out with my friends and drink beer on a Thursday would have built something like this. So I created a Facebook group that's happening. We almost have 100 members on that. Most of them are not my friends on Facebook. I think that's super interesting.
Yeah,
very cool.
And it's super fun. And then I turn the tables after we do the round table, and people ask me questions, ask other Vox and Hops alumni questions. It's always a fun time, and it's come to the point where people at the end, I want to say goodbye, and they want to keep hanging out, that they've organized after parties.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Yole, who hosted last night's after party, and to Evan, who hosted the week before. I love this, and it's super cool. And they were asking me, like, Matt, when you go back to work, are you going to keep hosting these? And the answer is yes. As long as there's an interest, we can keep hanging out, people.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's really cool.
That's a really cool, just such a cool concept, and the fact that it worked. I love it when, it's just, I guess it's similar if I see people who I don't know and stuff jumping in, in the comments on something like a live video, you're like, oh shit, all right. Mm-hmm. It's cool, and it's even more of a commitment for someone coming to the Zoom, because you got to talk and you got to say, hey guys, this is who I am, this is what I'm drinking, and this is the bands I like, or whatever.
And I just love the creative stuff that has been born out of this,
Yeah.
Like you found a way to turn something that's very strange into something very cool. Yeah. So I love that.
And build community.
Yeah, and build community around it. Very
everything.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's refreshing because we don't talk about the pandemic.
There you go.
Everyone, you need somewhere to not talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
We did it first. Of course, it started out like that. How are you doing? How are you coping? I challenge people to be creative. I would challenge them to find something to make that made them happy this week, so they can talk about that. Pay attention throughout the week so that you can see something that made you happy, so you can share it with us. And it's just evolved into something where we don't even have to talk about the pandemic. We all know each other now. And there's always new members coming in. There's people from the Ukraine. There's people, shout out to Joshua Worthington, who for, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks straight, he lives in the UK. He would stay up and have to go to work at 5 a.m. his time and stay up with us until 3, 4 in the morning, not sleep, go to the after party, and then go straight to work.
Oh my gosh.
He's a machine.
Beast. I love that. That is that dedication, you can't pay for that.
Is he drinking?
No. He'd have one, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, you got to step
sounds like you're getting destroyed at work.
That's so cool.
That's very cool.
I've known him for many years. He's a sweetheart, a huge Cryptopsy and other metal band fan.
I love that. That's amazing. We got a whole bunch of comments that came in here. So Noah said Mosaic is fire emoji. Steve in Brisbane, don't need coconut in my pale beers. Craig and I don't have much in common in our taste. We do not. We talk about it a bunch. It's okay, Steve. We'll get you on lactose, mate. Don't worry. Noah says, definitely a big love-hate thing happening with Sabro right now. It's really polarizing. Maybe because I don't know about you guys, I haven't heard a ton of hate towards it, but maybe I'm in a Sabro bubble because most people I seem to talk about it love it. I don't think I've heard anybody say that they don't like it.
Maybe it's people that don't like the taste of coconut.
So, Tiff doesn't like coconut.
No, I don't love. I don't mind it at all. Like, I don't like the taste of the Bounty chocolate coconut. That really hard. That I don't like. But this is like a soft. Yeah, this doesn't bother. This is like I'll drink coconut water from a coconut in Jamaica. And
right.
This is more
light.
light.
Would you eat the meat?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of light, though, right?
Yeah, it's still light.
Yeah.
So this doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
So even if I'm not the biggest coconut fan, this is not like a Bounty coconut. This is a delicious, soft,
balanced
coconut. Yeah.
That's a good point. I like that.
Is this what's giving this nice... What's the mouthfeel? This really nice mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel would probably be... Part of it's the lactose. There's only a little bit of lactose in this.
There's only a little bit. Okay.
So that's part of it.
Yeah.
We'll give it the smoothness, but it's probably the yeast or the oats. Oh, they use oats too.
Oh,
it's a New England IPA.
Oh, yeah.
It's just keep throwing you off. You don't think of it as a New England.
I never think of it that.
And it's also 3.9%, which is a very difficult beer to get.
Mm-hmm.
A good mouthfeel on anyway.
He makes the best session beers I've ever drank.
Yeah, man. JF really knows
when
his
we met
stuff.
him, that was the whole thing, that he was going to come and make Session Ales.
Did great. I love that dude, man. I love that guy.
Great.
He's just such a genuine dude, and he's a hustler. I love him.
Yeah, he created something really cool to that cat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I think
it's absolutely amazing what he's created on Facebook with that and on Instagram.
Yeah, he's been doing his own lives, I think, through Echo. I think he kind of stopped them because it was sort of like
it was like 5 or 6 a day. So
it was once a week, but 6 guests. So he was doing
so it was a lot for him.
Three like 6 times 20 minutes. So it's constantly like organizing it. And, then you'd run out of people to even talk to and stuff. And so I think the kata set, the virtual 4 to 7 like after work drinks he has every Friday. It's easier, I think, to manage on Facebook rather than Instagram and stuff.
It's huge. I think it has 5,000 members. I could be wrong. Maybe even 20,000.
Quebec has a wicked community.
What? That's amazing.
Yeah. Let me just check.
Damn, Jay.
Yeah, check. While you're looking at that, Steve says, yes, for sure, Noah, give me Sabro vibes in a stout, not so much in a pale. That's a fair point, though. It's not in a pale ale. I'd have it in like a New England.
3,000 people. Sorry.
3,000. Well, that's still impressive.
You're like 5 or 20.
Right? It could be close enough.
You never know.
Close.
Who knows? Noah said Sabro in a stout, eh? Not sure I've had that. Maybe a Sabro black. Yeah, okay.
Challenge Beauregard.
Samus.
Yes, that's a good one. Samus is a great name. I love Thirsty Thursdays. But the love, all caps, with fire emojis.
Who said that?
Samus.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Samus.
Noah says, haven't had Sabro in a stout. What about a Sabro Black IPA? Let's do it. I'm with it. Oh, Sabro Black IPA would be sick, bro. That's a really good idea. And this might be coming back to what you said before, Maddie. Steve says, I remember someone using HBC 472 in a stout for the coconut vibe. Sabro might be too fruity. Could be a good point. I'd like to know the profile. I would imagine it's not just coconut. It probably has other tropical fruits in there as well. Noah says, a lot of people don't like the coconut and banana thing that Sabro has. Like, interesting.
That's fair.
I guess I never thought of the banana to do with Sabro. I thought, at least in this beer, I know it's from the Kvik.
I get the banana thing. I can understand that.
Yeah. Look, if I had a choice with this beer, I think I've said it before, I wouldn't use Kvik. I think it's just funny because it's like, it's got lactose, it's got Kvik, it's haze, it's got glitter, it's like all these ridiculous things in one beer that just happens to work really well. But like, I could do that with Kvik. It's nice in a sour or something, or like a farmhouse or whatever. But
I like Kvik IPAs.
They're hit or miss. I think I've had a mix of good.
The Boreal one was really good. I can't remember the name.
No, I'm about to ask you what that was called. I haven't had many of their new beers.
Have we talked about what that? I don't even remember what that would be like. What's that profile?
Oh yeah. So I guess it's like. How would you describe Kvik?
Like, maybe it was just by itself so that I could... what's that profile like?
It's a little bit more wild. Yeah. It's a bit more funky.
Funky?
Okay.
Like that, like a bit of the barnyard kind of funk, but it's kind of more on the, like, banana. There's 2 main strains of Kvik Yeast, or Kvik, I'm not sure how to say it. 2 different strains, and the one that JF chose for this beer has a more banana first, like a banana forward profile. Okay. And I think... maybe Noah or someone else on the chat, they might know more, but I think the other version of it is maybe more tropical fruity or something, and he liked the way that this one. Yeah. Okay. So I get it, but like I said, I could do because I don't like the phenolic saisons. I love farmhouse when it's like, and we talk about this a lot, when it's like Hill Farmstead or probably Dunham and things like that. Farmhouse. Yeah, just killer shit. Yeah, Bench in Niagara do it amazing. I don't like those when it's just a saison in a can and it just tastes like banana-y and I don't know. It's just gross to me. And bubbly. It's just I don't keep that. So like I don't like that side of it. So it always kind of brings me back there. Or like the German, like, is it? I know it's like Dunkelweizen. Is it just in a Weizen they have that yeast as well that has banana in it, or is that Dunkelweizen? No.
Noah?
I'm not aware of that.
So. No?
All right, Noah, that's your job here.
There's more Noah questions. Noah, you guys got a lot of work to do.
Your encyclopedia.
Yeah, but it's an interesting yeast. It's been super popular here in Quebec because Quebec loves the farmhouse type of stuff. So it definitely aligns with Quebec's taste profile and what they're about and stuff. So we're talking about Thirsty Thursday, sorry, because there's a bunch of comments bulking up. So no, it's really sick, man, because you've been able to move from, from just doing the podcast to building a community around it, and that's what Tiff was saying before. It's sick to see like things like that and a bunch of different things in multiple verticals, whether it's beer or other things. Yeah. Where people are just building these communities around something where everyone's kind of like, we say stuck at home. It's like safe at home because it's positive outlook on this thing.
Yeah.
And it's giving people a space. People want that connection. That's what we're missing. So like it gives them that, and it's not quite the same through a camera and stuff, of course, but it's the next best thing, right? And it keeps people sane, and that's probably why you're having so many people to the point where they want that connection. They're having such a good time that they're having a damn after party.
Are you muting them, and then, or is everybody okay? Because I was just like, it's just so many people.
We started at the beginning. It was a bit chaotic. I think I did the first 4 weeks just pure asking people to mute themselves and then to raise their hand. And we had a time, I think we were 38 participants and a few people. I love you if you're listening. I'm not going to say any names, but you're going to know. We're rather. It had a few beers. And rambunctious. As a jinx, yes. And I had a friend there. I will say it. Mike Will was there, and he was just acting silly.
I thought you weren't going to call anyone out.
No, but I know him. I love him, and he'll own up to it. He was doing it on purpose. He was being silly, and was taking up a bit too much space, and I couldn't interact with people, and other people couldn't hear the conversation. So the next week, I don't like saying implemented rules, but I took a bit more control of the Thirsty Thursdays, and I mute everyone, and I give them access to speak.
No, perfect.
Which is strange. My guitarist was there yesterday, Chris Donaldson, shout out, and he was like, I really don't like this. I feel like I'm talking to myself because there's no laughs, there's no. So it's not perfect for interactions, but it's for a good conversation that everyone can understand. It's more conducive for sure.
And with that many people, like that was my first thing when I saw you had like a screenshot. And I was just like, how is he managing all of these people? He must just be muting, unmuting, like, hey, you can talk now, or unmute yourself. Because I feel like conversations with 4 people are just like on Zoom alone is still like you're talking over each other. So
have you ever sang happy birthday on Zoom yet?
Nope.
It's like entering the portal to hell.
Everyone's at the wrong time.
It's so bad. Happy Birthday is a hard song to sing already, especially because people always started at a higher pitch than you're supposed to, and they can ever hit that high note again. So it's always a disaster.
What did a musician think of you to say?
When you sing Happy Birthday, start really, really deep.
Okay, and work your...
And then, of course, when you put that in, you're going to hit it.
You're right, because people do start at, and it's like, you're not going to go.
They'll never hit that.
You're not coming back.
You're not Mariah
setting up
Carey
expectations.
Yeah.
You never do it. Okay, I like that.
Fair enough. That's good to know. That's a good pro tip.
Yeah. God, I hate that song. I hate it so much.
Jamie Morris says, like a circle pit. Hey, Matt.
There you go, Jamie Morris, the guy that brewed this. Shout out, Jamie.
No way.
Cool.
That's dope. So Jamie is a brewer at Henderson?
That's right, yes.
Amazing.
He actually brewed the first Vox Hops brew. I'm going to go get it. You guys chat for yourself.
Nice.
I'll tell the story about it. I've said it on Thirsty Thursday, but it's worth saying here, too.
Okay, sick. Yeah,
we were just saying, Jamie, how much we love Henderson, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we went there for the first time in, I think it was November or December. I think December last year.
When you guys had that party outside.
The Jacobson collab beer. That was super cool. The Winterfest thing.
Winterfest, yeah.
That was really cool. And we met, I forgot his name, but the owner. We met both the owners. One of them we talked to for a bit, and the other one, I think one was named Scott.
The really tall one we spoke to. He was so cool. Very, very good guy.
Yeah, man. And they gave
and then we briefly met the other owner.
Yeah, and Erica from marketing and stuff like that. Everyone was just mad cool, and like it was really cool to see what you guys were doing, get more of an understanding of what you guys were about. It's dope. So, Maddie, tell us about this one. This is the first collab you did?
It's not really a collab. It's actually a homebrew that Jamie made on his back porch, he told me.
Okay.
And I was playing in Toronto last year on the Hell Over North America tour alongside Aborted and Hideous Divinity. And I was doing this thing, if fans bring me craft beer, I'll put them on the guest list. And Jamie knocked on our RV and showed up with this. And I remember I was on stage and it was all I could think about. I just wanted to go and crack this and drink it. So very cool. It was called Lots of Hops, and it was a double dry hop, double IPA, 8.5% with citrus and California ale yeast. It was actually really, really good.
That sounds great. I love that.
So thank you, Jamie.
Legend. Jamie said yes, he was chopping wood and keeping the fire going, as a good bloke should. And thanks, pals. Yes, man, your stuff is great. Do you want to go next beers yet, or are you still going on your one?
I'm still going on mine, if you don't mind.
No rush. It's okay. It's always like rougher on our side because with two of us splitting a can. I guess we could always have extras, but it's fine. No rush. Yeah, man. So it's super good. Now we had a bunch of stuff that we want to get into tonight. So one of the things we were talking about was because I'm kind of over, like we've talked about, like a lot of the pandemic stuff to a blue in the face, and I know we'll have to touch on some things, but one thing that we haven't spoken about, cheers, brutal, damn right, was shows coming back. So restaurants and brew pubs are typically what we're being most talking about, but being that you're a musician, I am as well, not as much in the live world, but it is going to be interesting to see how that's going to pan out. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. I have a lot of thoughts on this topic. It's really going to go from place to place. I don't think we'll see any like huge arena shows until there is a vaccine, until COVID is gone. We will start seeing small club shows in the near future, probably in the fall, but what will those shows look like? And that is something that concerns me. I do not want to play social distancing metal shows.
Right.
And I don't think it's realistic. I had a chat with Randy from Lamb of God about this, and he doesn't want to do it either. Imagine standing on stage, and I'm going to say, like, I'm sort of ripping off Randy here. I'll say, this is Slit Your Guts. Everyone stay 2 meters apart. And then we count it in and they can't mosh. You know, is that a show that I want to play? No mosh pits, no crowd surfing. Grids on the floor, hypothetically, where everyone has to stand in their box.
Yeah.
I don't want to play those shows. Or chairs for metal shows. Imagine. But, you know, metalheads and punk rock kids, as Randy said, won't be able to control themselves.
Yeah.
That's what music is. It's something so, you know, deep inside us that we're not going to be able to hold back, and that's what happens. That's why a mosh pit happens, because you're incapable of just standing still. You have to destroy the place, and you have to put that energy out onto other people.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen. And then another thing, I was on a podcast 2 weeks ago, the Alex Kendrick show, shout out, love you, brother, and I apologize, I can't remember his name, a guitar tech from Killswitch Engage was saying that a lot of these big bands that would have been playing the arenas and everything that won't be able to play, what they're going to start doing is going to start taking up residency in these small clubs and doing 2-3 nights in a row. So instead of playing a 2,000 cap room, they're going to start playing a 200-300 cap room 2-3 nights in a row, so that everyone that would have come can come, and the band will just sit. They'll actually be much easier for the bands, but once again, what are those shows going to look like? And then there's only so many venues, so if all the big bands are doing this, what is going to happen to the younger bands, smaller bands that wanted to play in that venue? They're going to have to go play somewhere else, but someone else is going to be playing there. It's going to be very, very hard to postpone every tour that has been postponed or canceled. Everyone's being hopeful that they can postpone tours. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah. This is a particularly interesting genre. Can we just say shout out to Jamie, because he's drinking really, really well.
Drinking that BAOS double jutsu. And Steve says even at 39 he's going to have a hard time staying still. Probably have a heart attack. I get it. Yeah, it's
so interesting because of the genre too. Like, considering, say, the music that we listen to, like if you went to an indie R&B show, we're all kind of standing still and just vibing anyways. Yeah. So, of course, the vibe, we actually kind of stand further apart from each other anyways. So it's like, I'm like, good, I'm in like a nice corner here, and I'm good, and I have our space, and we can groove and do what we want to do. So those artists are probably going to be able to move into the new world easier. And it almost seems like I can't see a near future at all where people are allowed to be that close to each other, like in 6 to 12 months or something. I can't even see that. And when we're talking vaccine, now we're hearing things that say a vaccine that feels comfortable could be up to 10 years. Because think about trials even, right? It's very, you have to be very careful with something like that. You can't roll out something like that to the masses. So there's going to be a lot of trials involved first. So the most recent thing I heard was from 10 years. So it's very interesting. Like, obviously, it's like in the near future, there's going to have to be some creativity where it's almost like you have to do kind of Erykah Badu. She's doing these incredibly amazing live shows with her band, which is technically against social distancing practices, but everyone can get tested. So it's like you could get tested and say we're all good, and it's like you and your band perform, but you like go and wreck shit in a place that's only virtual with like 7 cameras around you, and everybody's gonna have to mosh at home.
That's very interesting that you bring that up, because I am looking into that actively. I have a whole team behind me that is actually looking into. I don't understand anything about this, so I've my guitarist Christian Donaldson is an audio engineer. He has a studio. I have people that I've known that if you can film music videos here. Shout out to Chris Kells from The Agonist. And I in contact with someone that can do the live stream part. I wanted to look at it. The issue is with metal is that it's such an interesting and difficult sound to mix and for it to sound good. So if you're going to start doing live streams, that's where like indie artists and rappers, it's so much easier for them to just live stream, because it doesn't, it's not that as complicated to get the sound right. And it has to look good. It has to sound good. And if we want to start, this is what is going to be the future. You're going to have to start paying for concerts.
Online.
Yes, and I'll launch that into a next topic. But for us right now, we've thought about it. And just yesterday, Century Media Records, which is probably one of the top 3 metal labels in the world, hosted Isolation Fest, where I think there was 10 artists that were on their roster, all performed a live stream, and it was cool. Was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. There was a band from Sweden that did it on a stage with the lights, which is what I would want it to be, but they didn't rock out. Sorry, Insanium.
Right.
You guys, you missed out there. You should have you got to give a show.
Yeah.
The camera's got to be like right up in their face as if you're right there. It has to be something special.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, why would they pay?
A shot like this and like a shot like that.
It's not enough.
It's not a concert. It has to be special.
Yeah.
And the next question is, if you do start charging for shows, what is an optimal price? A. And B, how do you make it special enough that people won't just wait till tomorrow to watch it for free?
Yeah, I guess with Erica, hers are pretty cheap. We're only paying, I think it was $1, then it was $2.
And I think it's $3.
I'd pay $20 for sure.
Because they spend money on it. And she said even the techs that weren't able to actually make it to, she lives in Dallas, because they got stuck elsewhere. This was earlier on in the quarantine time. She paid them anyway. And then they had this thing where it was like it popped up and you could vote. So the first week, it was vote for which song was next, and then it did it live, and you see the numbers going up. Oh, this is the one. The next week, was like, which room do we go to? And they had 4 different rooms. So you and literally she's sitting on her bed. She's been around for 25 years, so she's got a bit on the house. She's a hippie, but the house is like big. Yeah. So there's enough room for a full band, 2 backing singers, a drummer, a guitarist, a bassist, a keys player, a full band in a room. Then they moved to another room, and they had like a magician, like a funny magician dude, whilst they're moving and setting up
was hilarious.
for like 5 minutes, and they go to the next room, and they play a couple songs, and they go, cool, which room? Stay here or go to this room? And then in the third, they did a third one, but we actually missed that one. Yeah. But it was just like a cool, and it made it feel interactive. And then on top of that, you go on like, say, Twitter, there's a chat in the corner, but the chat's like...
Well, even look, we just joined her DJ set the other night too.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing that's been happening in hip-hop, but they're not a paid thing yet. They're these versus battles by Timbaland and Swiss Beats. Basically,
that's cool.
They go Instagram Live together, and then they play... They just did it one time on a whim, and they were like just playing one song back to back. So those dudes, like, I'm not a fan of Swiss really, but like he's done some pretty serious stuff. Yeah. So you hear that, like, yo, then they started this thing called Versus TV, and then they started like getting big people. So like Babyface and Teddy Riley were a couple weeks ago. Erykah Badu, who's that lady in the poster behind me there, the painting. Erykah and Jill Scott did Saturday Night. That was amazing.
They've had like incredible artists that are like super nostalgic that everybody just like loves and is devoting like 2 hours sitting down watching on Instagram Live.
And they're all commenting on Twitter. So you go on Twitter and everyone's talking about like, oh shit, he found this one. And it's like, it's a cultural moment. Tomorrow night is Nelly versus Ludacris.
Yeah, that's gonna be funny.
Like,
that's gonna be fun.
It's dope. Lil Jon versus T-Pain was a few weeks back, and like there's some. It's just been a real interesting series of stuff, and then that's led, like Tiff was saying. So Erykah, after her one, she built a streaming platform off of this. So that's why she can take the money and had that, the technology, it seemed pretty custom where you can, it's interactive. So then she held an after party and she made a DJ collective of all female DJs, and they played literally, we watched her from 7 p.m. till 3 a.m. And when there was the after party there, and then she even came in and performed like 3 times in between the DJs and stuff. Yeah. So I feel like this is my favorite, like arguably our favorite artist, and now I feel like we're just blessed with just seeing her all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
It's amazing. She's like hustled. Sure. It's been very cool to watch.
Yeah.
So I think the next logical step in shows, you are correct in that. I'm not going. Like we're supposed to go to a show like next week.
I was just thinking about that.
I
was looking the other day and I was like, so we have a show for Stormzy, who is a rapper in the UK. And yeah, it's supposed to be a week or 2 from now. And I went to the page yesterday to be like, so what are we doing here, guys? Because there's no way that I'm standing in a room, even 6 feet apart at this point. I'm not standing in a room. I can't get a drink. I can't do anything because I'm not going to want to touch anything. Like,
and even for like genres that, like you said, that I don't want to be in the room. I've been to metal shows, so I know like metal is and punk, like you mentioned, you have to be, the energy is this closeness to humans and sweating on each other, like and going fucking nuts. That's the vibe. If you don't have that,
one once before, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, like I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all off your head. I love it. The hip hop or R&B shows, they're not as for real. So then, there's a whole bunch of comments of
and some good ideas actually for you in here too.
So someone Colby Bungay says, so not down for seated metal shows. Agreed. Yeah. Steve-O in Brizzy says, when I think about having a sweaty bare back slide down your face in the mosh pit, I now feel the need to sterilize immediately. Can you imagine? You'd be like, fuck.
Wow,
Steve doesn't like.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, exactly. Get the Purell, just go down. Jamie Morris is saying, check out Code Orange record release show. Was supposed to.
I watched it. I watched it. It was really, really well done.
And they streamed it with no crowd.
It was really, really well done. But they hired like a movie director.
Oh, so that's
wow. Code Orange has that WWE money, Jamie.
Okay, so they could do their shit. Some Moose says, what if you don't release the shows for free and do a kind of 2-level pricing? $9.99 to enter the room.
Is this Samus?
This is Samus? It's CAMOUSSE, like French ça, like ça va.
Okay. Oh, Samus was Ollie. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Ollie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And do a 2-level pricing. $9.99 to enter the room and $16.99 or something to have a Google Drive link to download it the next day. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are going to download it anyway. So even better would be to have you do a backstage pass version where people can, right after the set, the artists go right on Zoom and can hang out with the people.
That would be sick.
And connect with it that way.
That would be
sick.
It's
access, right?
Yeah, it's access.
Because that's why the Versus TV work. Like Tiff said, all of the artists that do the Versus thing on Instagram, they are nostalgic, not catalog artists, but like, what's the word? Fuck, I'm having a blank. Whatever, older artists that didn't grow up, how all the new rap, I'm not sure what it's like in metal, but all the new rappers these days are on Instagram Live like every day, and like they're accessible. So accessible. You see them.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh cool, they're doing it. It's like, but like
Teddy, no mystique. Yeah.
No, yeah. And then all these dudes like Nelly, when he was popping 20 years ago, like he wasn't like that. Like he'd turn up at all the award shows and stuff, but it's not in your hand every single day. So seeing them even talk and seeing that, and also it's that conversation as well that makes it cool to see these legends talk to each other.
I love the idea of the access pass.
Yeah, but I want to rinse my glass because I want to taste it.
Yeah, we'll keep talking. Back. Yeah.
I really like that idea of being able to actually like go on Zoom and then talk to the artist. Could you imagine that?
Oh, it's genius. That's such a genius idea.
I guess we talk about our beer? Oh, no.
Yeah, he's getting the same thing. Yeah, this is the time we're doing the same one. Yeah, I think it's dope. Access is key, right? Because now, like, if, like, Badu, everyone was paying, like, $1. So I feel like, if you think about it at scale, now this is maybe something I should wait for Matt for, but if you think about what someone like Erica is doing, I was about to say, Maddie, so think the reason why Erica's stuff works, because it's $1, $2, $3, $4, you don't even think. It's less than a coffee, whatever, right? It's nothing. And that means you get to hang out. She'll play for 2 or 3 hours. So on paper, that doesn't seem like enough money. But at scale that you can't scale, you play a 300-person venue, that's as big as you're going to get. She had like tens of thousands of people paying customers. Think about it, like 30,000 people paying $2 each.
Cheeseburger model.
It's a cheeseburger model. So you could literally have like, if you're big enough, you could do this every single day. It'll cost you hardly anything. If you put it up to $10, people will probably pay it. You don't have to be greedy and charge $70 like fucking the big venues do. But if you pay something like $10, you've got 10,000 people watching you. I mean,
and there's the option for pre-recorded lives if you're not going to interact, because I guess you guys can't really stop and interact, really.
Well,
you can't. For
no,
you
but
can have moments there, but it should be intense and in your face. And
yeah. If it's pre-recorded,
if it's pre-recorded, you do get like the option to have 7 cameras though.
Yeah.
And actually stream it live.
I wouldn't want that though. It would have to be live.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah.
I think it
but
needs
with 7 cameras. It has to be.
And a director, like,
being like change
it's a big undertaking. So therefore, it would probably, if it's that in depth, like Erica's stuff for $1 is. Like, they wouldn't be making any money. I think they were setting the precedent to get people used to paying that money. Then it was like, because it was like $1, sure. Even if it's $1 US, it's $1.30.
Yeah,
cool.
sure. Yeah.
Then it was
That's
the next
really
week,
cool.
we hesitated even less. It was like, hey, babe, Erica's on. Cool, get it.
Yeah.
Like,
it was just such a good experience, and it's like it's fresh content that no one else is doing, and it's something that you feel like you're a part of something, and you're supporting her crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of supporting crew members, I had a great guest called Frank Finelli on the podcast who started a great initiative. He is a road crew, a road warrior. He sells merch. He's a tour manager for a lot of artists. And he started a charity where he's almost raised $40,000 for out-of-work road crew people.
That's
called
For
cool. the Nomads.
Wow.
It's forthenomads.org. If any of you guys want to help out any of the touring, because touring artists can sell shirts, they can do things like this, doing live stream, they can interact with their fans and get some donations. All of their crew are sitting at home doing nothing, and a lot of crew members normally, when they're not on the road, they work at small venues in their hometown, and those are closed now too. So they're really screwed.
So
it's really cool what Frank did on For the Nomads, and I'm super happy I had him on the podcast.
What a legend! I love that.
That's very cool.
We've got a couple quick questions, and then we'll get to comments, and then we'll get to the next beer. Jamie says collabs forever. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Massive beers, and I guess this is at you, Matt. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy, of course.
Of course.
His mole would just crush God.
Oh, poor Lemmy.
Right? Nayeli Flores. I prefer Thirsty Thursday than live stream concerts. Haha.
Oh, thank you. She's a sweetheart from Mexico City. Yeah.
Love it. Steve saying trick question. Lemmy is God.
Ooh, all right.
This is going right over our metalless heads. It's okay. It ain't for us. Noah, I never really got the Kveik thing. People always talk about it being really tropical, but yeah, it's kind of banana phenolic thing. I much prefer a Brett profile, maybe even a classic Belgian yeast thing, but I feel like it will grow on me. That's a fair point. Yeah, you got to have it in different styles too. See like what sort of resonates with you and stuff. Samus can't wait to have hologram metal shows streamed in my living room. Hologram. Now someone
that's
there you go. Idea, yeah.
That's what. This is Jamie brought up a really good point. Open drive-in theaters and stream concerts. That in and of itself is genius. Or everyone it would be smaller crowd. But I've seen, we talked about this. Someone had drive-in theaters
in Denmark. In
Denmark, okay, they had the drive-in movie theaters. But you just have a drive-in concert. It doesn't even have to be streamed. Just have them there.
No, it's not streamed. And then you can digitally send the signal to a radio station.
And they can hear it in the car. Or they can just kind of stick their head out the window or sit on the hood.
No, they're supposed to stay in their car with the windows up. And to your phone, they send you a link, and you can listen to that through your car, which is exactly what's happening on stage.
I love it. It's just that's
pretty cool.
That's the move, I think. Yeah. That's how it's going to be the future of it.
And then there's a funny meme where there's drive-in concerts, and then there's the drive-in mosh pits, and it's just a big pile of cars that's been circling on the internet.
Do you imagine you're just I'm just going to drive into this fucking guy now. I'm just going to drive in. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. So the next beer then, Maddie. We had a visit today from good mate Pierre Paul Andre. He's a legend. He is the Montreal main sales rep for Ras L'Bock here. And they did a collaborative beer with one of our favorite breweries, Lagabière. So if that'll definitely tap that can. So we were talking, and we made sure Maddie got a can of that bad boy as well. So we're both going to be drinking the same beer, because before today we did not have the same opportunity. So I'm
excited because I wanted to try this when I saw it came out. I think it just dropped this week.
Yeah, it dropped what day is it? Friday. Yeah, I think it dropped earlier this week. It's a 7. No, it's not. It's 5.5% double dry hop juicy IPA with. I think it's got the Brew 1 and Mosaic hops. BRU-1.
Cool. And it's interesting that it's only 5.5. A lot of these beers now are 6.5, 7.1. All these double dry hop ones, at least.
Yes, agreed.
Color's amazing.
Yes, I thought it would be a little hazier than this from what I've seen in the picture. This is like definitely hazy, but it's more like opaque.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Tropical nose there.
It's good. It's got that Lagabière profile.
Yeah, very much so. Tastes like Lagabière. I've been really loving Ras L'Bock's what do you call it? Their haze. Two different beers. They had the Solitude Pale Ale. That's nice.
Yeah,
right?
nice. Yeah.
And they had their double Citra, the double IPA. Both of those were fantastic. I was really impressed.
So good, that double Citra.
Yeah, this is good, man.
And they had the collab with Yakima Chief Hops. I think that was the Sabro.
It was Sabro?
I think it was 8%. I can't remember. It was really good. It dropped like in December. It was awesome.
Okay. I love that. Sabro for the win. Jamie saying Monster Truck Rally.
Exactly. Circle Pit.
Yeah. Steve said there's a drive-in theater on the Gold Coast that sometimes has pre-movie bands playing. It's really odd. Well, do you know what? It's probably odd pre-quarantine, but now it's not odd at all. So with the cars, boom, boom. Jamie's saying Kvik is also great for fast fermentation without additional esters. Okay.
That's what brewers like it for that exact reason. They can turn over stuff really quickly.
Yeah, I love that. Someone said looks delicious. Yes,
it is.
So it's Ras L'Bock Collabo. Should be available everywhere across Quebec, I would imagine now, because both these guys got great distros through Ras L'Bock specifically.
It's really good.
Yeah,
I love Lagabière too.
Lagabière and both Ras L'Bock rarely disappoint me.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, they have the independent seal.
Yeah, one of the first I've seen it on, actually.
Okay.
Shouts to Hubs and Bros in the building.
Hey.
Legends. Summers, what does BAOS mean? Beers and other stuff or something? Yes.
Yes.
The TLDR, because I guess you're familiar with Matt, which is why you're here. So thank you, first of all, for coming by, man. I appreciate you. BAOS, beer and other shit. It was my stupid blog back in the day. I had to do a thing called...
It was a great blog.
Well, I mean, I guess, it wasn't supposed to be great because I didn't know what I was talking about. I did this thing called 365 Days of Beer. You had to drink 365 beers within a year, and you had to take a selfie holding like the can or thing and whatever, and then write about it. So I did it. Didn't think there was 365 beers. I did it in 7 months. I just kept it going. So now I'm pushing 6,000 beers that I've reviewed individually. It's ridiculous, but it's like an OCD thing. And I needed to. At the time I was just posting it on Facebook and on my Tumblr, and I wanted to call it something. This is before Instagram, so it's 2011. No one was using Instagram then. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to call it. So I was like, I don't know, beer and other shit, because I was just posting whatever. When I got Instagram, then I was posting it to that, and I was like, whatever I posted plus beer. So I called it that, and I just kept the name, and we just shortened it to.
We shortened it because we started getting interviewed by brewers.
We were interviewing breweries. 666?
6,000 beers in 9 years.
Oh, wow.
666 beers.
Wow.
How metal is that?
That is like...
I can't
there you
make
go,
this
fellas.
up.
Right?
I didn't make
Okay, the podcast is now called 666
Oh, 0.67. Oh, 666 beers? All right, done. That's the name of the podcast, man.
That's so cool.
That is very metal. That is actually hilarious that you even like...
so cool. And how did you even think to do that? That was just so good. That was perfect.
I was just curious how many beers.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
That is perfect.
I thought it was impressive because now it's like 9 years it's been, and this dude in Calgary who's had like 20,000 beers in 20 years.
He just must be sipping though.
I think he can't be having a drink in the whole thing.
Like,
yeah, I feel like if you're getting that volume, you'd either be a whale, like this is because there's so much carbs and all of that. It's just not possible. Or you're just
we can talk about fighting the hops.
I'm down to.
It's hard.
Yeah, bro, it's hard.
I work out every single day, and I'm losing.
Oh, I know. Yeah. He's a T-shirt guy from Digital Junkies T-shirt.
Sorry,
yes. Sorry, Matt. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking. Is it Olivier Samus? Is it Olivier?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, of course, dude. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with the name. Yes, because he did my DJ's shirts. Legend.
Oh, cool. And he's got a really cool vlog that he started just recently.
Yes, we were talking.
It's quite funny. He's got a good sense of humor on it.
Ale Satan.
Ale Satan's great.
Ooh, that's a good episode.
That's from Jamie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right away. Yeah.
I'm just gonna write that down as a potential episode name as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Keeping it metal.
Jamie, are we allowed to use that for the episode?
Let us know. We can credit you in the description. So what the hell we're supposed to be talking about? We're talking about the beer. The beer is fire. We established the beer is fire. All right. And then we're talking about shows. Oh, yeah. So all of that stuff with the shows. So, yes, basically the same. I wouldn't be comfortable going. So you guys are a different story. Like, eventually, I'm not worried about the vaccine because it's going to take forever. And I don't think that's a solution. I just don't think that's going to be the thing that's going to make everyone feel like it's a... Like, if it's going to be so long, like, life can't be like this until then, whether it's 2 years, 18 months, 10 years. It's not possible. It's just... It's going to fall apart. So... There has to be some sort of middle ground because artists need to work. It's going to get, right now everything's pretty chill, but, if things keep getting bad and governments don't help, it's going to get desperate. Mm-hmm. So there has to be some sort of middle ground. So Jamie says, hell yeah, you're a legend. Thank you, Jamie. So I guess the solutions, I think the number one solution is the easiest way is what you're talking about, doing these live shows, what Badu's doing, charge people, whether it's
Why does anything have to be free? Is it because you're only thinking about streaming it on something like Facebook and then afterwards it stays? Is that why?
Well, I think that they're going to wait one day and watch it for free.
But what if you don't
wait
it up for
day?
Free?
What is that? What are you talking about?
People can just steal it.
Oh, because they'll
like stream it,
someone's
like rip
just
it while you're
upload
doing
it. It's why bands don't make DVDs anymore. There's no money in it.
But you
can't sell a DVD anymore.
Where would a DVD even be utilized at this point in time, though? Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. That's basically.
We don't have a single way to play media.
Yeah, we don't even have
nothing.
I was thinking because you know how Facebook now has the events that you pay through Facebook and can do everything on Facebook. I was like, does that live actually save? Because if it doesn't save, then people are going to watch a terrible version of it anyways. It'd have to be like a screen recording or something. So maybe that's more of an incentive if you feel like you can't.
And at the end of the day, though, there's that, but people want to support.
Yes, that is also the case.
They if they love you and you're a great, the best example because you do more than just the music, right? Like people love the band, and that's why they check out the podcast. But now you're going to be converting beer people to be to fuck with the band because they like you. Mm-hmm. So you've got this personality over and above the band that draws people in. So my point is that people want to support you because they're like, look at this guy, he's giving us 3 podcasts a week, he's doing these Zoom hangs that are all free.
So much free content.
He's got this music that I really appreciate. I want to give back to him, and that's an innate human urge. We want to give back to and the reciprocity. You're giving so much that people just take my money, bro. Here, I didn't even wear this T-shirt, but sure, here's $30. And I feel like people will be more than happy to pay, even if they don't watch the show, they just buy it anyway. I really think
that's cool.
Yeah.
I think once we get through the whole solid deconfinement, where we can actually be in the same room together, hopefully that will start over the summer, depending on how Montreal pans out.
Yeah.
It'll probably happen elsewhere before Montreal because Montreal's still a hot zone.
Yeah.
And then bands can start actually doing this for real. I want to do it in a venue with lights. Have a real show experience.
Yeah.
But it has to sound good and it has to look good, and that is the primordial thing.
Yeah, the mixing
and it needs to have some special stuff with it. I was thinking of you print a shirt that is exclusive to the people that attend it, and you ship it in advance so they get it before the thing and they can wear it.
Yeah.
During the show.
Erica has special merch for each show.
Yeah, I really do. I really like the merch idea, and I guess it's something that's what I was telling you on Facebook that you could do something where you would partner with this is not even just for that side of it, but we did a thing with Nickelbrook where they sold a pack and it was a 6-pack. Mm-hmm. People bought it beforehand, and then they had the head brewer and another dude. They went through all the beers and they did a tasting together, and it was in a Zoom. You could all see who else was in there and stuff.
That's a super cool idea. I'm all about it. Any brewers that are listening that want
get mad at your shout.
Cool Thirsty Thursday. I'm sure that all of my Thirsty Thursday patrons that I at least live in Quebec and Ontario or nearby would be super interested.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And he has to. Because how long do you do it for? An hour? 2 hours?
We go about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then the after party. The Warriors have stayed up very late.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be Kobe Bungie says it's a great idea. What? So you could partner with a brewer and you'd be like, all right, guys, you tell them you'd have this stuff done weeks in advance, and you'd be like, all right, and then you need a 4-pack. You'd be like, here's this 4-pack that I've curated with this brewery for this event. Here's the link. You can go buy it beforehand. They'll make sure it's shipped. Hopefully, if getting it overseas is going to be pretty tough, but within Canada is doable if the brewery is willing to do that. Mm-hmm. it could be just a nice way, and it's the same kind of concept as the t-shirt. The t-shirt's a great idea, so everyone kind of feels a part. It's one way, once again, to bring that physical side of it. You get something to be a part of it. You're like, oh, I have this thing in my hand, and it's got to do with this. This is sick. Or I'm wearing this shirt, and I feel like now I can like jam in my living room. Like, it's a very cool way of I don't know.
You know, fans make the set list as Erica did, bringing back old members, stuff like that. Stuff that
Ooh, that's
has to be special.
Yeah,
has to be special. Yeah. It has to be something that is worth buying. Metalheads want, and a lot of metalheads and any music fan want to support the bands. But how many shirts can you buy at this point?
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, maybe there's something else aside from a shirt. Maybe like anybody watching, if you're watching, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be drinking. Even if they're not a beer drinker, you could sell a glass.
Yeah.
And
glassware.
That ships worldwide.
The pricing of glassware is the best versus a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You can buy a bunch of glassware and sell it. It's the best.
Like value, right?
Except for like the artist, like the person that makes the glassware and sells the glassware. The markup is fantastic. Sorry to anyone that's ever bought one of my but it's absolutely fantastic versus a T-shirt.
Right, so you could sell like a pair of glasses, plus maybe some stickers. You throw in some stickers or a CD or some shit like that, give them a bonus. That means that breaches anything even with the beer, so it's almost like you can buy the glasses for the show, because then you could send it to Europe, to Australia, to Asia, anywhere where the fans are watching from.
Yeah.
They can all feel like that. And instead of wearing a T-shirt, they might already have a T-shirt from the last tour, so they're going to pop that bad boy on, and they're going to be having that. They'll drink their beer or their wine or their liquor.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But do like a glass like yours already, or like something like this. I love this shape. Tiff and I got
I love this.
You know the La Cuvée event?
Yeah.
Dude, this is
I love it.
We use this glass
all
every
the time.
If we're splitting a beer, I'm like, and this is perfect. My fave glass is this for when I get the high ABV stouts in a small can.
A whiskey glass.
Yeah, because it fills it to the top.
Yeah.
And it's just a small thing. It's like it's 11%. And it's just for me, and it's like I don't know. It just feels small and like that's my little nightcap right there. Like
it's like you're talking about our future, Craig.
Yeah. Right. Oh, maybe I am.
Oh yeah.
Stickers and patches. Patches is another idea. Jamie was saying.
Patches are great.
Yeah, patches are very cool.
A great markup is
much great markup. Yeah,
great markup. The margins are fantastic.
No, it is. It is. Well, people
but it's true.
You got to think about that.
It's true. 100%. You do.
Hey man.
Yeah, the shirts are much more expensive, or even what we have, which is like Teespring, so you just don't get anything.
Yeah, explain why we do that as well. I'm gonna piss.
Yeah, well, the reason that we use Teespring is just to not carry stock. So Teespring is a drop shipping service, but they not only do they drop, they do everything. They print and then they drop ship for you. So basically, people are just ordering right from the site, and because they're facilitating so much for you, so that you don't have to carry stock. You basically are not making any money from it. It's almost like I consider it a marketing exercise for the most part. And that's just because we don't like to carry stock if we can avoid it.
I completely understand, and I have been thinking about doing that. I have a whole thing set up for Cryptopsy right now on Printful, which is basically the same thing, but they have places set up in the States, in the UK, somewhere in Central Europe, and in Australia, and I believe in Japan. Okay. So the shipping is sort of a little bit more reasonable because they expedite it.
Teespring, same thing. They're in Australia and stuff as well. Yeah. Because we actually found out about it from Australian bloggers. Okay, and they were like, interesting.
So I'm thinking about doing it, but I want the quality to be... Like my shirts that I make, I'm so proud of. It's from Print... hold on, let me get this right. The Imprint here in Montreal. These shirts, and Ollie bought one. He'll probably comment on this. It's the best quality merch that I could ever have. They have this. The design is baked in. Shirt. It's so soft. They're so nice. I love it. I got my hoodies. It took them a little bit longer to get them because they cut down their staff to one person. Wow. But the hoodies are the nicest, the most comfortable hoodie I can. It costs more. It's worth it, and I like selling stuff that I would wear.
Yeah. What's the brand of the blank?
The hoodie?
Yeah.
I think it's just for me or made for me. Something like that.
And it's like
fantastic.
Really like thick and kind of really well stitched.
Yeah, it's super soft on the inside. And
does it pill like the Gildan? Sorry guys for getting a bit nerdy on this stuff, but like because even Teespring sells the Gildan. So So even this T-shirt, it was from Teespring. This hat, for those watching.
That looks good, though.
Yeah, this is like a one-off, and it's just like a simple stitch on just the Yupong. If anyone knows hats, trying to get hats done, as far as snapbacks. And this is, I think, a next level T-shirt. This T-shirt is great. I got a tank from them, and I got it's a Gildan hoodie, and I ordered a Gildan sweatshirt, so that should be here soon just to test it. Because I didn't even have stock. People have asked me for it. I'm like, I don't have shit. That's the point.
Yeah.
Because then everyone...
I agree. I hate being in a band. We've done it.
Yeah.
We order too much shit. It sits in a warehouse. It sits in our closet. I order alumni shirts for my alumni. Normally I just hand them to them, and now I'm shipping them overseas. It's been fun.
Yeah, man. I feel you. I've still got so much stuff left: hats, beanies, T-shirts, CDs, and stuff. Yeah, so now we're doing the podcast. Maybe people. By the way, if people are listening, my brother and I, Notion, he actually is our engineer for this podcast. We started a hip hop podcast. Him and I are musicians. We're both rappers as well. We moved to Canada from Australia. So it's called Bad Habit. It's available mainly Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So check that out if that is interesting. Fucking cheers. Olivier saying second best shop back in the time I was a merch rep. Now they're closed. Yes, Imprint makes top shelf merch.
Nice.
I've heard of Imprint. Actually sounds familiar. Colby,
really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Colby saying people will always pay for quality. Nothing worse than a shitty shirt.
100%. I will always. I'll pay for that.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I don't care. I don't mind. Like,
Same.
If it's gonna be good quality, I like merch aside. Like, doesn't matter if it's merch or not. Like, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. Definitely much rather do that.
I hate when you get the shitty. Yeah, there you go. I just hate when you get like the shirt and then all of a sudden the whole thing is pilled at the back and it's rubbing off onto the colors, rubbing off onto something else. Like
that's what the
Gildans just annoying.
Do,
yeah, it's
and
so
that's
annoying.
The problem with I don't love T-shirts
unless it breaks down artistically. It looks like you had it for a long time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like vintage.
These ones are like
straight vintage.
Yeah, this is the difference. So, like screen printing's like thicker, and that's the one that can break up. Whatever this one is, I don't know if it's actually screen printing. I mean, it could be, but they've never broken up.
This is a discharge ink, is what I remember.
Discharge ink.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you're happy with that.
Yeah,
so.
like I wish I did have stuff like you do. I like that you are able to. Like I got nothing to give anyone as far as like merch and
That's
stuff.
why I said we should get like you get 10 pieces or something, and then you're happy with just 10, and it's all promotional.
Or I could order. I've always or we do a small run of like a special thing.
From a place like this Imprint that you're talking about.
But sell them beforehand.
25 minimum, but it's...
okay.
So do a 25 like what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
do a 25, get people to like buy it beforehand. Love to know if anyone is interested in that, let us know. But like we could get a design that's just for something and we could, you pre-sell them when you hit 25 and you do the order.
That's exactly what I do.
Okay, and then you pre-sell until you hit that number because... Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to try that. Just like, I haven't really thought about merch. I don't know why. Like, I guess you definitely in that band mindset, which is really dope that you sort of had that at the front of mind.
It's how we make money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about making money for the podcast. I started making alumni shirts. I gave them to my alumni, and I just kept getting so many messages. Can I have one? I want one. How can I get one? I was saying, no, you can't have one. You're not a guest. It's only for the guests.
Okay.
So I basically made the same shirt, but without the alumni part of it, and I sold 50 of them.
Nice.
You're like,
in like a week and a half, and I was like, okay, cool, this is working. So I always have merch ideas. I have a whole folder on my phone of merch back slogans that I'm taking a break on now because of COVID. I think
they're a bit.
People don't really have funds, I don't think, to.
Yeah, and they're not going anywhere to show it off.
Fair. Yeah.
You want people to see what you got.
I want to make a hazy one though called "Praise the Haze."
Ooh, that's a good one.
Back print.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's a great one. That's really, I'll be about that one.
Yeah.
Steve is saying, and I guess this is to both of us. What have you got to sell that you'd send down here to Australia?
So Australia. Use.
I love it. Use. Oh yeah, nah, Steve, I use. Yeah, nah. Do you have stuff that you could, if Steve,
There's still glassware up on the Vox Hops Big Cartel page. There's glassware. This actually glass, my favorite drinking glass that I drink at home all the time.
Can you move it across towards your face a bit more? There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a great glass.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. You guys have some. I gave you some.
Yeah, I have one. Yep. They are super cool. Steve, as far as our stuff, there's a link in the description of this video. I actually popped it up. It's like a Bitly link for the merch, and it takes you to our Teespring page. That's the BAOS stuff, if that's what you're interested in.
That'll ship to Oz.
And that'll ship. They actually have a local thing there, so I've had people out there buy it in Australia, and they deliver it the same as I would, because I just buy it from the store.
And there's some more. We had a rock version. It's probably not as hard as metal.
No, it's not metal.
Because remember
enough.
the Get It In Ya with the beer spilling out and the thing? It was supposed to be the more like
rockier stuff.
Version.
I still want to do a collab. I think it'd be very funny.
I want to do a song and a merch collab. I feel like we could do a song that would work for both of us.
That'll be interesting.
I think it'd be very funny.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny, but it could be sick. We could make it sick.
And I could sing too, so it could be a bit of both.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like on some like I know it's like probably whack to like metal dudes. I think I talked about them before, like Asking Alexandria. Like they're a little bit like they got the.
I think they dropped an album today.
I saw that. Yes, I saw it came up in my thing. Even though I haven't listened to them for years, but I just like that first single they dropped. But I like I know it once again. It's not as like hard, but they do the clean singing and they do the metal singing. I think that, and like so did Alexis on Fire. I really love that stuff with.
Yeah, I liked Alexis on Fire back in the day.
I like that sort of dichotomy. It's very cool to have kind of like playing off, and it's not when it's not meant to be that like metal. It can work really well. So
absolutely, and I came from a
metal
world, so
okay, so you get it. All right, so let's seriously talk, bro. Like that would actually be fun.
I think it'd be super funny. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, I'm so down. And Steve come up to Bridgie to deliver. Oh, I like your attitude, Steve. Yeah, I have some music stuff if anyone cares. I got my.
I bet you immediately said Bridgie.
Oh, come up to Brisbane?
You said Brisbane, but you said Brizzy immediately.
Oh.
Like you read it and like translated it immediately to Stride.
Do you know why? Because when I don't know if this is really something that you guys would experience, but being away from where you're from, whenever I'm around, so if I talk to my brother on FaceTime or on the phone, I'm like, oh yeah, nah bro, yeah, fuck, you know, limp BAOS Topsy, I like that.
There you go.
BAOS Topsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Aussie just comes back, like really heavy, like exaggerated. So I don't know, just because I know Steve is Australian and I'm reading it in an Australian accent, it makes me feel more Aussie. And then I go, oh yeah, you turn it on a bit more. It's a strange, like...
Brisbane, yeah, we were supposed to go because we were supposed to go to Australia before the fires and COVID and cyclones and all the things Cyclone hit. So that was our plan, but then, Mother Nature had other plans.
Yeah.
So, and then the virus. So, but Brisbane was one of the places we were going to go to and spend actually 3 days or something we had mapped
at least.
Out or something. Yeah.
I wanted to, Steve, if you know Matt, Matt Fay, he does the podcast for Revel. So I know him. He's actually going to be on the podcast in a few weeks and getting him on, and he's going to get. There's another, but every brewery has a Matt. That's what I.
Yeah, we talked about that. I was doing an interview.
And we're interviewing Matt. Ooh,
and we're interviewing Matt, and I was like, "There's always a Matt.
There's always a Matt.
There's always a Matt.
Everywhere you go, there's always a Matt. But it's generally a Matt in beer. Yeah. I don't know if you've never noticed it, but it's hilarious to me that it's so consistent.
You thank Jesus.
Praise him. Praise the infant Lord. So
like, literally, that makes sense. Yeah,
right, good Christian boy. Yeah, praise the infant. No, what other stuff do we have? We had show. Now something else. Oh fuck, I forgot to bring up the article. But we were talking earlier about what we wanted to else to cover on this. Steve was saying you need to come visit Range, Australia's new hype juice kings. I saw about them. I was talking to Chris from Mr. Banks about them actually. Matt was on our podcast a while back. Okay, see, I figured you'd know him because you're all Brizzy guys. Matt's a good bloke. I love it. See, good people know each other. It's always the way.
Sure.
We were talking about the main issue in Quebec. Once again, not to go too much on the situation at hand, but Quebec breweries aren't able to have an online store and deliver their beer directly, whether it's via Canada Post, third-party thing, or hand delivering them, right? So Bar Canada did that beer recently where they put a whole email, essentially.
Fucking Manifesto beer was amazing.
Manifesto, sick. Did they do a drop here? Is that...
I got one.
Okay. Yeah, I need to... I know the guys, but like I'm not going to ask them for anything. And
no, I didn't get it from them. I ordered a beer through Bits and Biag and I got one.
Okay, so maybe I have to try and start doing that locally to try and get some of their stuff because I haven't had anything.
I've been really lucky with Bits and Biag. Like if you order on Wednesdays, it's the sweet spot.
Wednesdays. All right, good to know because I have one near me too, so I guess it could work. I was going to order from Cheers out in... they deliver to you and to my area.
It looks good. It looks good what they do.
Yeah, they got all the Sir John stuff.
They seem to have everyone.
Yeah, they got all the Sir John Haze. They got a lot of stuff. So I've been like, I just haven't tried it. I haven't really needed to get beer, but I'm going to need Haze.
Fucking Sir John, man.
Yeah?
They're doing the shit, man. They're my top brewer.
You guys? All right. I really need to get into some more, so now I might just have to just cop a bunch if Wednesday's the day. Can you remind me, if you're doing an order, can you just shoot me a note and be like, hey, dude, if you want to do a bit, just in case I forget.
And then you get on Thursday.
Okay. I love it. I love your attitude.
Sweethearts. That's so well done.
The best. So, I saw an article. Someone shared it on Facebook, and it was all in French, but basically there's this group called the RAGC, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one, the manifesto. Yeah. And they're the body that's making that decision. So I think the AMBQ, which is the Association de Microbrasserie de Quebec, they are the ones, like the OB, what's it called? OCB in Ontario, the Ontario Craft Brewers Guild or whatever, that takes care of the thing of each province, and then they have the national one, which is what Tiff was pointing out. They have the Canada Seal of Independence on the can. I don't know if you can show yours, Maddie. There you go.
Yeah.
It looks sick. Yeah, look at that. Look at those seals there. Because Australia has one for theirs. This is Canada's one. Finally, we have it with the National Association. So, they were saying that they've taken it to them. They are aware of the problem. And basically, it was a big cop-out. They were kind of saying, oh, we're not sure.
This should have been very handled. They
were like, we're going to see what we can do, but, it looks like that's the law type of thing. I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Never in my life, I got to say for Ontario, they immediately just swiftly were like, okay, whatever we can do to get alcohol in people's hands, and they can stay at home, we understand the value of it, let's make it happen. That they were shipping, you could get a bottle of Jack Daniels sent to you with wings. That's how,
it's from St. Louis.
From St. Louis. Yeah. It's from St. Louis, but yeah, French.
Oh, it's Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis.
Sorry.
But yeah, just Frenchy.
Fucking French.
But that is crazy. And then here, look at this, the struggle. It's just such a, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
I don't get it. It is such an archaic law that was created after Prohibition.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense.
1928.
Literally 1928.
1928 was when the law was made.
It's so stupid. It makes no sense. We are lucky that you and I were lucky that we know these brewers. We see their struggles.
So fortunate.
My friends from Le Fermenteur, who were from L'Assomption, who made the first Vox Hops collab.
Yes.
Luckily, had a bottling machine. And they have subsequently started bottling now.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys can go and order some of those beers, if you're from Quebec, I would be happy about that. They make some really, really cool beers. But I'm so worried about all these people that don't have distribution, that don't have canning, that can't, someone that's been very vocal about this, that you should absolutely have on this adjunct series, is Jeffrey Stuffings from Jester King Brewery.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of, I wonder if he'd be interested in Jester King.
He is very vocal about everything that's happening, because Jester King is not just a brewery, it's an experience. You have to drive there. It's way outside Houston.
Austin.
Say it.
It's Austin. 20 minutes outside Austin.
It's and then you have to drive, and it's like a farm. It's a whole experience.
Yeah.
So going to the brewery and living at the brewery and being, not living, but experiencing that was how they made their money versus buying beer. And a lot of people here have that same thing where they have no distribution. It's supposed to be a pub. They're supposed to. It's so baffling that they haven't opened up the gates to this too. And there's so many people that want to buy beer. Why should we be going and waiting in line when we're supposed to be staying home?
Yeah.
Yes.
And even with
the post office.
That's another.
That's another thing that they do. It's with the post office. I just got a 12-pack of beer, 12 beer. Sorry, okay. I got a case of wine. It's in a whole other area. 12, and you have to actually go. They're making it so that if you're shipping alcohol and it's coming, this is from Ontario, coming here, they are making it so you have to go to the post office to pick it up, so that you can prove that you're 19 plus. And then they end up still not even signing, making you sign anything because they don't want you to touch anything.
So dumb.
And they're not even looking at your ID. So now you forced me to go stand in a line someplace in a smaller area and be exposed to a bunch of people because you felt that there's a chance that a 17-year-old is
going to order $300 worth of wine.
$300 worth of wine. Good on them.
And then I had to
decide
carry
that
back
and let them have it.
Yeah.
And then Craig, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had to carry back like 60 pounds walking through the
a kilometer
yeah.
and carry a 60-pound box back home because like you're not going to take an Uber and that's just going to add to all the other fees.
So it's like all these barriers.
The secret, you drink it as you go and it gets lighter.
Should have done that. It's hard with the bottles of wine, though. It's hard with the bottles of wine.
See, beer would have worked.
Yeah, beer would have worked.
The Tumo way. You take the boy out of Two Mountains, you can't take the Two Mountains.
You can't do it. Ever.
But, like, see, these barriers to purchasing, and it's like you're concerned about the economy. People love drinking. You already know that alcohol is a big business, which is why you tax it as crazy as you do.
60% increase in wine sales.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
And the SAQ can deliver. Why can the SAQ?
Shopify said that the primary business and online stores that were created were breweries.
Really?
That's where
it's such a good idea.
And
there's so many of them. I was speaking to Leonard from Baron Mag, and he was saying that we might lose 50-60% of the breweries, hypothetically.
So sad.
I mean, that's maybe.
It's a possibility.
But I've also seen,
like,
I feel like, do you know what's an interesting thing? I guess I can say names because they don't care, because they've made it public. But, like, Trailway just said they're pretty much shipping Canada-wide. Rosewood, the winery we got from, are just like, fuck it, shipping Canada-wide. Mm-hmm. There's someone else I saw.
As I said, beg forgiveness.
Like, they're basically, you ask forgiveness, not permission. They're just like, fuck it. But in Quebec, no one's breaking the rules. And basically what that article I read was saying that they are watching. They're watching for breweries to fuck up. Well, we had
a brewer that said he was doing...
No, he decided against that.
And then he stopped, though, because he got in trouble.
I don't think he got in trouble, but I think he realized they were cracking down on it. Or monitoring, they think. Monitoring more than he thought.
Yeah.
This is just when he was real, and he did what? Because at first he jumped on one of our lives. He was commenting, being like, "Yeah, fuck it, like I'm just gonna do that shit." I'm like, "Alright."
And then he got like concerned because in the end they're pressing hard on you because. And here's this thing: people want to purchase. You're not letting them purchase. You don't want them to go outside. So what the hell do you want?
What do you want?
Do you want these businesses to go bankrupt and you want to hurt the economy when you, in the end, we all know how much their breweries can make a community thrive.
And they bring in taxes.
What breweries can do.
And they bring in
taxes. Why they employ people? It's just like the benefits go on.
And why is it? It's so like this is what this whole time has taught us. Every single rule in society is arbitrary. It's human made. Money isn't real. It's human made. All these fucking alcohol laws are all ridiculous. They're made a century ago by people in a different time with a different mentality and different problems. That are dead. Pretty much every one of these motherfuckers, if they made the laws, they're dead for sure.
They made laws in 1928, they're fucking
dead. So it's like, why are we sticking to this bullshit?
And this is the one thing this is also a problem that Quebec has, and I say it, and it's for everything though. I always say it. I hate when the excuse for doing something is because we've always done it this way. It doesn't. It makes no
sense. It's the time for innovation, right?
Yeah. Yes. You know what? In the Bible, weren't women barefoot or something like that and not allowed to have jobs? Like I'm sorry, like this doesn't work. It just doesn't.
Stop it.
Just because you did something some way in the past.
The 8-hour workday.
You found a way to modify your book, so like you can find a way to like modify alcohol laws. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense.
And then you think about the Hype Kings, the Haze Kings from Montreal, Masorum at the beginning of this had 1,000 people waiting in line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now they had to,
and the cops were pissed at them
because people had to come and get it. So now they sell online, and now this is my other problem that we've talked about in other podcasts. But all the haze beer, all the hype, gone in 20 minutes. It's easier for me to order Bellwoods to my friend's house in Toronto, who sends it to me here, and cheaper than it is for me to go get up early because I'm a late person. Try within 5 minutes of Masorum's beers going live to buy it, then take an Uber either way, which would cost me at least $15 either way, but it cost me $10 to send to my friend's house.
And it's dangerous for you because you're getting into.
Because then I have to go into a line,
or you get on an
Uber,
or a bus, which is just like that's really dangerous.
Not to get there, it's in the middle of nowhere, but like.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is actually.
Yeah, I love Masorum, but it is a little bit in the middle of nowhere.
You have to actually.
Yeah, I'm like, I love you guys, but like, never let tradition get in the way of progress.
Exactly.
Says. Big facts. So like, it's just so ridiculous. And the other thing to me that pisses me, it's not makes it ridiculous. I consume weed. Like, I buy from the weed store, the government weed store. So that they can send marijuana in the mail, and then it's plus 21 plus, so I have to go pick it up. But the boxes are always tiny; they're not heavy, so it's fine. And then you can get from the SAQ. They'll send bottles of liquor, of wine.
And that thing too, like what? That's why it shows.
What difference does it make?
No, you know what the difference makes? It's like taxes and bureaucracy. You know, because in the end, the SAQ is much more of a powerhouse than all of these individual, independent businesses.
Yes.
So that's why in the end. It's kind of like how LCBO. It's interesting because you don't get all the perks of it. Like LCBO is the largest importer of alcohol
in the world.
In the world, so you do get this crazy range
in the entire world. Nobody imports more alcohol than LCBO.
But then in SAQ, they don't even have everything. So like LCBO, if the worst case scenario is that you wouldn't be able to purchase from everywhere, it would not be great, but you could still get great craft beer in LCBO. SAQ refuses to carry anyway.
Yeah, there's no.
So you can't
beer.
Get that. They're not letting you do that.
For
not
the
every
most part.
dep can sell. Yeah, for the most part. But
Vitriol pulls in some cool stuff.
And Importation Pivot do some great stuff. They bring in Nickelbrook and they're doing some good stuff. So those two companies are dominating the game, and it's fantastic.
I don't know why they compete. They should just team up. I hate
probably would be a little easier. But yeah, you're right.
But it's ridiculous. So it's like, but I can get wine from SAQ, and I can get a bottle of gin, and I can get all these other things, but I can't get. It's just interesting how they decide to choose.
Okay, Jamie, you're a legend.
It feels almost like they
that.
don't like local because they also don't carry a lot of Quebec wine either.
No,
and apparently it's very difficult for
Quebec
wineries to even get in there, and there's not even that many Quebec wineries because Quebec is not the most.
There's some that are allowed in depths now. They changed the law so that like in depths they can actually sell Quebec wines, but we don't know enough about them because we haven't been there. We mostly go to Niagara-on-the-Lake and Beamsville.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can get a couple of the wineries that we like in the SAQ Classique ones, like the super
the
nice ones.
Yeah.
And they happen to have a lot of lambic and things like that, like a lot meaning like one or two. But like a bunch of a lot for SAQ standards, right?
Yeah.
Like they have a few things over and above those ones, but like typically we would always get products from elsewhere and then bring them here. And it's just because like you can't always get what you sort of need here. Now this time there's a physical proximity issue.
Yeah.
Masorum is located, for example, same as like Four Origins, they're right next to them, like in a industrial area in Point St. Charles, in the middle of kind of nowhere. They're hard to get to for the vast, even if you're like lived sort of nearby, it's not super easy and stuff. And they don't distro. So like, just like we could go to Cheers or Bière online because Depeneurs have a grocery license, which means they're allowed to ship.
Which is great.
That's the one thing that no brewery has a grocery license because they're not selling groceries. So these Deps now can ship, which is great. But then there's the breweries like the main ones I want to get my hands on are Brewski and Masorum. And I hit up Guillaume and Derek. They were on our first, I've been on the podcast twice. They're friends of ours. We go there regularly. I talk to them often. And he hit me up. He wanted to get me some beer. I'm like, I can't get there. So I'm not leaving the house for anything because Montreal is the capital of COVID. And
I bought a bike.
You bought a bike?
Okay.
Matt is see, that's one way to be able to do it. That's a significant trip to
we talked about that, but we live in an apartment and don't know where to put our bikes. You can put them in the garage, but yeah, that's the whole thing. We talked about it the other day.
I bought a bike because I have to go to work hypothetically.
Oh, there you go.
Whenever Logo decides.
Then you have to go
back.
I got to go to work, so I'm not taking the metro no matter what.
No, same. Yeah. Apparently it's dead empty.
Thank you, Jamie, by the way.
Yes, Jamie, thank you for that. The offer to grab the beers, that might be handy because that's really what I'm after. Someone at Colby saying one of the cannabis stores will deliver to your house here in Ottawa now, and I've been using them. That is sick.
That's cool.
That's what, we actually are lucky that the SQDC do that here. Yeah. We are pretty lucky.
I have to pee, of course.
Go pee.
No
organized crime, Oh, Matt, can you hear me? No, just say grab your beer. Organized crime organizations must have a way around it all. Let's ask them how they do it.
Seriously?
So
what? I wish they were invested in craft breweries because then maybe we would.
We actually do a bit better.
We'd actually be winning on that front if they were interested in craft beer.
There's this dude Louis who comments on a lot of BAOS stuff, and he was telling me like a week or two ago that he used to work for the SAQ, and he was explaining how it. Remember, I think I read it out to you. It was fascinating. He was reading me out stories like about the bureaucracy, like without calling out details. He basically said that like everything is really unionized there, so like. There's this other woman who was just about to retire, so I guess in her 60s, and she had to lift these heavy boxes. But if the union knew that someone else was helping her, it would cause all sorts of shit because the job roles, like every distinct task, like I pick up this piece of paper and put it there. Like it's that ridiculously regimented.
Yeah.
So he had to wait till they were like hidden in the room. She had to drag these heavy boxes, and then he could come and help her.
It's so ridiculous.
And like he goes. That really isn't an example of why shit is all messed up, but like it gives you a bit of a...
Of how much bureaucracy surrounding it.
Thank you. And how impossible it's going to be to change.
Yeah.
Did you want to get the last beer? Do you want to grab that now?
Yes, I got it.
You got it ready? All right.
Okay. I'll grab the beer. And
I can grab the bottle opener.
Yeah.
Okay, for the name. Yeah, so we're just saying, like, SAQ bureaucracy is pretty intense. Someone has been telling me stories on Facebook about it. And it's a real shame, and I would imagine that's what it is. And just reading that article, I think it was in La Presse. I shared it on BAOS the other day. I forgot I was supposed to have that already.
I shared it as well.
You saw the one?
Patty from Overhop.
Yeah. Patty had it. Okay, sick.
Thank
you, baby. Oh, we're gonna wash the glasses whenever you come back.
Yeah, give it to me.
And yeah, man, it's just like it basically suggests that we don't really have a huge hope of things changing fast or soon. Being that it took years, only within the last 2 years, growlers and cool ships were allowed in Quebec. Whilst, thank you so much. Quebec is in the best place, I think, for beer than it's ever been as far as like the quality, what they're putting out, and it's variety. Thank you. Now the variety is the best. Arguably, Noah and I had a brief chat about it. The hypothesis was has Quebec finally eclipsed Ontario overall.
You think so? Yeah.
I went out on a limb. I think Quebec. I've always been very critical of Quebec because they do many things very, very well. Like there's nowhere that does it in Canada that does better. Farmhouse, arguably the barrel aged stouts and things like that are just insane here. All of that type of stuff. They've been really known for that, right? That's why that's what people have been after here. But the things that are missing that were always like the trend. So like lagers or pilsners or dry hop lagers and shit, haze, milkshake, fruited kettle sours, things like that.
The smoothies,
all that dumb stuff, right? Like that's the whole rounded thing. And now that's here at the very least between Gatineau, Montreal, Quebec City. Like
what's up with Gatineau? It's
Gatineau was just dominated. Yeah, Gallicus now just dropped haze. Apparently their haze is fire. My boy Chris, Saki and Barrel. Chris is working for them, and he's been telling us apparently their shit is like really good right now. They're dropping a bunch of beers. I think
there's one more that I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I might have a blank too. Maybe if Chris is still on, he might be able to let us know. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, man. I really think this is why it's extra disappointing that these laws haven't changed, because like Quebec is on fire in a way that it's never been. So I really hope that something happens with that, because it's pretty crazy. Did I just call lagers a trend? I guess what I mean, Steve, was like lagers are circular, right? They weren't cool for the longest time. They're back. And you can't argue that it isn't a trend in the sense of, like, say, dry hop lagers. There wasn't such a thing as dry hop lagers 4 or 5 years ago. It's only in the last 2 years, probably. So they are a trend in the sense they're everywhere in Ontario, but Quebec's been very slow to get onto that. Now I feel like it's, most breweries are doing, like even Massorum are doing a wicked slow pour, like serious lagers, and
but I think that they want to challenge themselves because, correct me if I'm wrong, you can hide a lot of flaws in a hazy IPA.
You very much can, yeah.
So I think brewers are artists, just like you're an artist, and I aspire to be an artist one day as I grunt over music. We want to challenge ourselves to actually make something that's beautiful, and you cannot hide flaws in a lager. It has to be perfect.
Absolutely.
So I think that's why lagers are coming back, because brewers are challenging themselves to make pure, good beer, and that's something that is refreshing. And I went to Massorum, and no fault to them, I love them to death, and they have changed this since then. But there was 13 beers on the tap. I think there was 2 sours. This was back in November, I'm going to say, and 11 amazing hazy IPAs, and by the end of it, I was bored of drinking
haze, right?
Amazing haze. I wanted variety.
Yes, and they sort of always. I mean, I guess it would be good if they had like a solid, 2 different stouts every time, 2-3 different crispies or something. Like they're not, and maybe they're smoothies or just some sort of kettle sours and stuff. Everything
I've drank from them is fantastic. So I've been back subsequently after that. And it was much more varied, and it was amazing. But that specific time, I was like, it's just haze.
I definitely remember. I remember that time very well at Massorum. Steve is saying here, I understand about the lager call. It's just a hilarious thought, given it's what 90% of all beers drank over here. Well, here at least, in Australia. So
they
Australia
love them a golden
ale and a summer ale. Australia and pale ales. Australia is very behind North America, so it's catching up with range and Mr. Banks and shit, but overall, Australia's still pretty behind. So I think the average, there's a small faction of craft beer nerds that I know there that are, on the money. But the vast majority of people are so far behind.
The top beer was like a golden ale or something.
The top beer is Bolter's XPA. It's been that couple years in a row. XPAs were very popular, exactly. Yeah. Basically a pale ale. But that's just the Aussie palate. It's completely, it's a few years behind even Canada, which is basically caught up to the US. So y'all will get there. It's just,
Canada sounds ridiculous. Caught up to the US. We're good.
Olivier saying, what if the consumers get together, register as a corporation, get a license, and set up hundreds of shipping locations out for orders? Want to play with the laws? You got served. I mean, just get a grocery license and be like, hey, we're selling products and just ship shit out. If we
it's cool what like Vice Versa's doing and Saint Soublan's doing, where if they deliver food, they can deliver their beer. See, that's interesting. Boswell's doing it too, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's great.
Yeah.
I hope because Boswell must be canning now. They're already canning a couple things.
They can, I think, through Ma Brasserie.
It's all haze. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Ma Brasserie. What's all haze, Steve? Like over here or in Australia? So, Maddie, what's your next beer, man? Tell us about your one.
I'm stoked about it. I'm very stoked about it. I took a chance today and I wrote Beauregard. Ollie's going to be happy about this. It's their brand new biscotti.
Closer to your face? There you go. Woo!
Oh, that sounds nice.
What's the ABV?
11.1%.
Oh, fuck. Woo.
Shout out to Cedric for hooking this up. I hope you're still watching if you are. It is a extra strong chocolate beer, chocolate coffee, imperial stout. They are a very interesting brewery. They only make dark beers, which fits in so well with metal, of course.
Of course.
They are reopening tomorrow on May 16th. Tomorrow. They are open only from 1 till 6. You guys should all go and buy. They have this crazy deal right now. It's a 12-pack for $50. They have their 2 Framboise Noir, which is a sour raspberry dark ale, 2 black lagers, 2 dry stouts, 2 of their Baltic porters, 2 of their Imperial Choco Piment, which is a spicy stout, which is also, it's up there, it's around 12 or 11%. And 2 of these for $50. And there was this whole fucking scandal going on with Beauregard through social media and all the craft beer nerds on Caps and Bière and Beer Meme Quebec were spouting that they were going bankrupt and they were going to close.
I heard that.
And I do not have the exact specifics of what happened, but they are fine and they are continuing and they're brewing and they're releasing new beers, and that makes me very happy because I love Beauregard very, very much. You can only go there on Saturdays from 1 to 6. It's like a small tasting room. I don't know what it's going to be like now with COVID, but it was a really cool, chill atmosphere before. You could just go and taste all the stuff and then buy what you want to buy and leave without... it was really very cool. Yeah. And it smells amazing in there because there's all the barrels. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to crack this. What are you drinking?
So this bad boy, this is a beer from our friends at Sawdust City. This is called Hig. It's a coffee stout. We actually had it with them. They gave it to us on the day we did our first ever canned collab called Get It In Ya. Was our first canned collab. A double dry hopped Australian New England IPA with Galaxy L and Vic Secret hops. With it had our stupid faces on the label. So this one is actually only 7%, so it's not as... No, it's not. I lied to you. It's 6.2. Ooh, it smells great. So I just had this sitting in the cellar for 2 years. That was February 2018 that came out. We brewed it in January. So I guess it's
you're so diligent. I can't keep beers. I just drink them.
I'm
really a little better now that I have more volume.
But, yeah, you go. It's all about volume, dude. Once the volume hits and there's nothing else you can do, like... I really thought by the end of all this quarantine, I was like, I'm going to get through my damn cellar finally. Like, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'll just come over once this is over. I'm pretty good at helping.
Oh, you are. We actually have our beers from our Christmas haul. We had a few leftovers that we still... That's one session in and of itself. That's quite significant.
We'll make it work. Worst case, it'll be a park episode.
Oh, yeah. That's something we could totally do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks great. I really like Beauregard. All right.
I love them, and I'm so happy that they're okay.
Yeah, cheers. Same, man. Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys. This is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Talking about it.
But super boozy.
11 and a half. Oh, move it towards your face more. There you go. Yeah, it's looking
delicious.
Looking nice. This is definitely pretty chill. Like it's 6.2, so it's kind of like that light. It's more watery for a stout, but that's the point. But you've got like a nice balance. It's like some creamy. The coffee's in there. It's still kind of bitter. Chocolatey. Crushable. Love it.
Nice and light.
This is absolutely super bitter too, but totally manageable and absolutely.
I guess they kind of have to be bitter. It's 11 is ballsy as well.
I love it. And they were great. I just loved what it looked like on the inside. I liked the vibe. I think the owner was there who we saw. I think so.
Cedric is the guy that's the main voice of it.
Tall brunette.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice man.
Sweetheart.
Yeah. Brunette.
Yeah. Very good. Wait, he's a brunette, no?
Well,
he has brown hair.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
He definitely has brown hair. 100%. He has 2 eyes and a nose.
There you go. Wonderful.
Really?
Perfect. Well, that's always good to have.
Ooh, Toronto coffee.
What do you wonder?
Honduran. I just don't know if this is a 2018 version or the 2017 version because it's there's two. I always get confused when I say on Untapped to see which one is which. It's got the same coffee. So how do I know? How do I know? What if I check into the wrong one, Matt? What if I do it?
Wait.
Life will end.
It's going to be over.
Sorry, did you say 2017 version?
Yeah, we got this in January 2018. So that means it wouldn't possibly be in 2018, was it?
No, it would have to be 2017.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to review it. Yes, because I've already done it. It's always a good thing to me. Woof, right?
And that's why I don't do Untapped, people.
It's a lot of work. I did it for
Oh, this isn't even Untapped. Untapped is the easy part.
Well, he does every Untapped, but also
because I do the reviews,
like,
right? The selfies and all that stuff. But because this was from the same day and I drank it that day and reviewed it, I don't think I need to review it again, which is always a pleasure.
As well, Matt. I tried.
You tried?
I had fun for a while, and then I was like, "Fuck this, man! I just don't want to do all these."
I drank too many beers. It would never end.
First, I went to then I started going through cheers, Jamie. Then I started going to okay, I'm only gonna do goat beers, the really crazy beers, And then I was just like,
it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Olivier saying, I have one of the original bottles of Choco Piment Stout. I'm trying to age it as the guys at the brewery told me it was possible. Yes, definitely would be possible. We went with Nate. We actually did just before this ended. We did we have a series of vlogs we did called Where to Drink Craft Beer in X City. Doesn't matter, And one thing we hadn't done is do it in our own town. We hadn't done it in Montreal, so we did episode 1 with Nate from Nathan Does Beer. He came down for it from Ottawa. We put that one out, and then we did a collaboration with this company called City Brews Tours, and they're super cool. And we're going to do 2 episodes with them. We did one with we jumped on one of their public tours.
Yeah.
So they took us around, and one of the places was Beauregard. So in our last video,
wow, what
we
a
got to
different
go.
time.
I know,
that was on a bus. Going from
No, thank you.
Yeah,
I was right.
Tour in a bus. No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
Right? No,
yeah.
I just even think.
And that was just February. And
yeah, it was February.
1 month later.
But we didn't put it out yet. We actually have 3 videos. We did one in San Francisco in December. We did the Montreal one, part 2, and we did
Vermont.
Where to Drink in Vermont, part 1.
Yeah.
And our last Vermont trip, which we went just before they cut it off, the weekend before everything.
Yeah.
We were there, so it was just made it, and
we thought we were because everything changed so quickly. I'm already inclined. I'm a germaphobe, so as soon as I even heard for a millisecond that something was happening, I had Lysol with me, brought to the hotel, wiped the hotel down, wiped the rental car down, all this stuff. But the news was so light at that time that it felt like I was being extreme. And then less than a week later, it was okay, we need to lock down, you need to stay home, all this stuff. And I was like, so I wasn't being crazy after all. But things were changing so fast at the time. I was just thinking, what a different, because everyone was still going to roll in restaurants, we're at wineries, we're at breweries, it was crazy how fast things changed.
Yeah.
I actually read, the first time I read social distancing was from a post that you shared, Craig.
Really?
Oh, wow.
On Facebook or Instagram or something?
Facebook, yeah. The one from the scientists and the graphs and the little dots and the different.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. Because we were already for it from the way beginning. As soon as like a millisecond, as soon as they said like this is going to be something that could prevent mass outbreak, we're like, all right, so let's all just stay apart, guys. Let's stay apart.
Like in Vermont, they had the people were Lysoling the.
They started wiping. Yes.
What do you call it? Like the pin pad, so where you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were constantly Purelling at the distillery.
The distillery in
Bar Hill.
Bar Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, and they were doing that. But the brew pubs were packed. We sat next to people in every brew pub. We went to 7.
Oh, that was that trip. Like that would have been a prime catching COVID trip.
Oh yeah, we went to everything.
We're at Foam. Foam was packed in and out. Like people
like Fiddlehead and like
everywhere.
We went to Hill Farmstead. It was
rammed.
Went to Ben Hill. Went fucking everywhere. It was all over the state too.
Yeah,
and it was crazy. And then when we came, then we came back on the Friday the 13th of March was the collab we did with Wood Brothers. And that was kind of when it was the weekend prior.
That's when I started only touching elbows and stuff and like Purelling.
Like, hey man, how you doing? Like, what do we do here? Like, what's the protocol? Because it was kind of weird, and they seemed pretty chill about it. Though. And we were kind of like,
something's happening.
Yeah, something's happening. And like we were talking, Chris was there. We didn't dap or hug Chris or anything like that. Mm-hmm. The Wood Brothers guys they're like on that farm. They hadn't been anywhere. So
they're completely like isolated themselves.
We'd been around, but like.
Yeah, technically,
but nothing
was happening. That's why Vermont because Vermont also were very fortunate. So like we went to New York and hung out, and then came back here.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Vermont just like had no cases and nothing happening. And then when we left, we started realizing cases happened. So out of extreme caution, we're like, okay, let's just stay the F home, just in case, because you never know, because they said for 14 days, etc., etc.
Yeah. It's kind of wild.
But it's crazy how fast.
Now it's been 2 months of actually staying in. So we stayed in since then. And we had podcasts the following week for that. We had Boreal and
Buckhead.
Yeah.
Inside.
No, we walked in the grocery
shop. Yeah, grocery store. There's 2 different grocery stores we go to. Mm-hmm. Like one for produce and one for kind of bigger stuff. And where we are, we've got like the wealthy neighborhood next to us, as you know. So like, we go through there, but there's mad people in the streets. It's just always like moving to the side, like crossing the street when we see them, and like
don't.
We went for a walk through the plateau.
We went to try to go to the plateau. Oh fuck, we can never come back here again.
Dude, we went past Laurier Park. It was fucking. I mean, look, we're near the mountain here, so like
even the mountain's too packed.
The mountain is around. We can see it from my window too, and there's like mad people on the mountain. You see the copped cars go by and stuff, and like
blasting
outside where they go outside and they're blasting.
Yeah,
no, we heard from the balcony.
From here because we can see it.
Dude, it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, seriously.
My wife started crying. Jessica, the producer of Vox Hops, she started crying. She was so emotive about living in this horrible,
it's terrible
dystopian dream.
Yes, and this is the thing. Like, without getting too much into that, like it does feel dystopian because like I'm into the conspiracy stuff. I know things I kind of align with that, but at the same token, the disease is real. I don't want to get it. They keep saying, they're always saying, hey, it only really affects the older people, but there's all these like rappers. This 25-year-old rapper who was Nas's protege died in New York. This other dude who was well known was 35. He passed. Scarface from Houston is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and he has lung issues. He's got lung issues, kidney failure.
Also, you could it's not even about you. You could just pass it on to somebody, and you hurt them, and that's not fair.
There's so many.
We have pretty cute little old people in our building. Like I would never.
What if I
touch
the elevator
myself and then I do something to them. So,
but like it can affect. They say that it can affect your lungs forever.
Yeah, they don't know if there's going to be permanent scarring.
Who knows?
Yeah, no one knows. It's
So it's like I know you're the same as us because you've got children in the house and you are around children for your job.
Are your kids in school now? Oh no, you're much older.
No, we pulled them out. We pulled them out. They will not go back to daycare.
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the move.
Yeah.
It's just like it disappoints me in Quebec because I feel like I get that we don't want the government to tell us what to do, and I'm very much aligned with that. I don't want a dystopian society. I've read all the books. I'm aligned with that thinking. At the same token, we have to understand that it's not on our timetable, and I feel like as long as they don't overstep, we have to restrict our
you don't have to hang
proximity.
out in
you don't have to be in a fucking park. This is what it all comes down to. We talked about this the other day. This thing about entrepreneurs and hustlers that will give up. What is it? You take
you sacrifice a small time to pay out later.
Yeah, but there's something you said the other day that was really good.
Something I keep saying is that you borrow from the future so that you can have like instant gratification today. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. So you're not. It's no long-term thinking. You're only thinking short-term.
No,
so
I need to go to the park now.
Desperately need to sit in the park now.
7 degrees. It's like sunny. We have to go. Like, bro,
I gotta get my base tan.
Yeah, like shut the. Like to me, that's like it's incredibly selfish. Like I get it. I do get it.
And I see that they're staying far apart, and I get it, but it's still just not worth the risk. And the faster that we act now, it's going to benefit us.
That's all it is.
But it's just a lack of long-term thinking.
Yeah, no one's thinking long-term.
And Quebec, it's not Quebec's only fault. It's not people are hanging in parks, and that's the reason. There's a lot of factors that are involved.
No, the issues of making us go to stores and stuff. I'm lucky. I'll give them a shout out right here. I love them. This Manovo on Jean Talon Street. I order my groceries from them every week. They are amazing. Mm-hmm. It is a small family-run thing. I don't know what family member or who they hired to do their online store. It is fucking fantastic.
Oh, nice.
And the produce that they give me, everything is spot on. I order 2 packs of bananas. One of them is green. The other one is ripe.
Ooh, they know.
They are
details.
That's good.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
great.
You
know what I mean? Like they call me if they're missing something, and they're awesome. Like I can't praise them enough. And I get it. You know, we live in a new world where I order my groceries on Monday, and I get it on Thursday. But I know that now, and I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you prepare early, prepare for it.
Yeah, I go out with my kids every day, and my kids. You know, I'm worried about how my kids will be affected by this because kids are so malleable and resilient, but it's such a vast time of learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At this age, they acquire so much knowledge.
Yeah.
My daughter now, when someone comes on the sidewalk, she knows that I expect her to move over and to be away from them. And what is the impact going to be?
Long term on that. It's interesting because without question, it is a form of trauma, right?
100%.
So,
there's going to be PTSD for
100%.
a lot of people that are living with this. You know, not being able to be with their loved ones, their elderly loved ones that have passed away thanks to it, because the CHLD, which is the old folks home, is a horrible term, here in Quebec, wouldn't let people in for the first month and a half, let's say. Mm-hmm. You know, just imagine that.
I'm not familiar with that situation, but something terrible happened there, right? Like this was a disaster. This whole
it was really
poorly managed. Yeah, everything was very poorly managed.
But everything, this is new. As much as we criticize everything, this is new for everyone. It's the first time this is happening.
Yeah.
So obviously some bad decisions are going to be made.
Yeah.
My wife read that there was pictures. There was like a sleeping elderly person and a sign, and it says, "I'm still alive," and they were sending it to the family members.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's rough.
That's like.
But I wanted to touch on my wife. My wife wrote a children's book.
Yes.
Yes, let people know.
Called Today We're Staying Home. With her friend Jeannie and a bunch of other people helped make this happen. And she had the reason was because it was basically our day to day. And if you look through the book, you can pick out, like, I'm in it, my whole family's in it, a few of our friends' families are in it. And it's basically about families coping with social isolation. And there's a French version and an English version. I'm sure that more will come after that. And it's very interesting that we got to be a part of this. I narrated the book for the YouTube versions, but it's very cool what she set up, and it's just a beautiful, positive message that even though we're all staying home and it's absolute madness, we can still be okay, and I'm happy.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Where can people find the book?
It's available on. I'll send you the link and you can drop in the description.
Yeah.
It's Mycelia Media. It's a hard thing to spell out. But
okay.
I could do it. But
you even said it, and I was like CE.
Yeah, it's Mycelia Media.
Oh, okay, that's
I believe there might be a typo in that.
Okay.
But I'll send you the link and you can drop in the.
I'll check the thing. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Colby is saying, I feel the same. I see the same stuff at the parks by my house all the time. I'm thankful to have a backyard for my little guy to run around.
You know what's funny? This is interesting that you say that. This is like almost made Craig and I want to move to the suburbs. We're like, if this was supposed to be life forever.
Yeah. Okay.
if this was supposed to be like life and what life is, because the whole benefit of where we live is that we have access to everything, and everything's close, and all our cafes and restaurants and brunch places, all the stuff is right there. And we're like, well, none of that matters when you're not allowed to go to any of these places.
We have no yard.
Because I would have loved a backyard right now, or somewhere where you could just hang out in the back, you know?
Yeah. Let's wait till they make that craft beer delivery law, though.
Before
that'll make a bit of a difference. Yeah,
that'll make a difference. Yeah,
that'll make a difference.
And also the coffee is a problem too. Yeah, it's one of our favorites as well. Like I love the access. You kind of need both in a way. But like having land, like having the space, especially if you have kids, so that they could actually like go out at the back and do stuff. Like that's extremely valuable, right?
And just sort of like
we have this like alleyway, like 2 seconds from my house. It's between like an elderly residence, but they never go out, the elderly, and a co-op, which is like a bunch of people live in the same building. They take care of a yard, and there's like a green alley there. So I go there, and that's basically my backyard now. And nobody ever goes. People walk by, but there's like enough grass and space and it's not like a park where people will go to hang out. So I've been just utilizing that.
That's
to full advantage.
Nice, it's great.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Montreal is good for the green spaces, though. That is one thing that like trumps over any other city I've ever seen. Is the sheer volume of green spaces and like the focus they put on that, because that's what people here seem to very much appreciate.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of cool. But
it baffles me that they haven't opened camping. We can stand in line to go to buy groceries,
but we can't.
You can't go out into the woods and sleep in a tent.
Yeah.
That seems,
everyone could find.
Yeah, I've heard from the sort of like, because we're more coming from the cautious side of things, and I've heard from one of our friends who owns a brewery in Toronto. We were talking to him the other day, and he laid out his kind of case to me, and I see what he's saying as far as like, we went to the plant store here the other day that sells plants, and they had a sign out the front because they've been closed. They only opened up the other day, and they were like 3 people at a time. Like, boom, we have masks on. We wear like a nice one, the good, like the hospital ones for not N95s.
My mom had to ship us masks from Ontario, so we could get some like high grade masks.
Yeah, and we wear those to the supermarket. And we're just doing small things. We're just going to be quick. We just wear a bandana mask, and that's fine. Yeah. So we went in there with the bandana masks. No problem. There was no more than 3 people in the store. They helped us. They had the screen up. They all had masks on. I'm like, I feel comfortable here. I don't feel. And we're very cautious. And I was like, I feel good. There's no reason that other stores can't open and have, but they just have to have the strict rules.
Yeah.
And something like camping, like you said, after being in that store, I'm like, oh, you can fucking open camping. You can open Home Depot and just have 20 people maximum.
And you just space everybody out.
Yeah, or Walmart or something. Just space
every 3 campsites or something.
Yeah, or something like that. Like, just be, there's ways around it. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, you have that as well. I guess you might be talking about your park.
Space.
Your space. Yeah, I just feel like now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, there are ways to safely do it that doesn't impact anybody, that helps businesses survive, and therefore, we do have to do something. Like, it can't go on
interesting.
forever.
We're like from the actual employed person perspective, they're not in a great place, but they're in a better place when you compare it to someplace like the employed person.
Oh, the employed person.
So not the business, because
we don't get any government benefits.
Like
whatsoever.
Craig and I don't get government benefits because we didn't lose income,
and we didn't have like full-time employees. They were all
we don't have any full-time employees. So all of that, like, we don't benefit from it. But as an employee, like, the government is giving you something. It's not fantastic, but at least they gave you something. I feel we should all be very grateful for that, or at least the people should be grateful for that. When you look in places like the U.S., like, I understand why at some point we're gonna have to pay for this all, right? Like, and it's great that we did this. This is amazing that we did this. But when you think about it, like, the money's not coming from nowhere. Like, it's gonna come. Our taxes are gonna look crazy in a few years. Like, it's gonna look nuts.
Justin doesn't have a money tree,
right? I know, somehow. So it is helpful to open. I get it. Like, I get that if you can safely operate, and it will help you, because even though as an employee you can be like, okay, well, I'm fine. I make $2,000. Maybe I share an apartment with a friend. It's not so bad. The business is struggling struggling very, very hard. So you do need to find a way to open things up to make them be okay, if it can be done in a safe way.
Yeah.
I still think, like, I'm of the mind that everything's too early right now because we just don't know, and like, it's summer, and especially in Montreal, I'm super concerned about Montreal because, like, we just live for summer. It's all we have. It's what we wait for this entire time. And now you're gonna tempt us and tell us we can go outside. Like, I just already see every park filled with people, and they start getting closer and closer together until is a complete disaster.
And it's going to second
I went
wave.
to Jerry Park with my daughter on her bike.
I was thinking about Jerry Park in my mind.
two weekends ago, and we went down, and I was like, no, turn around, we're leaving.
We passed Laurier, disaster.
It was insane.
Yeah,
I bet
Laurier was completely packed. Did not feel at all like there was.
And multiple people sent us multiple people sent us video of Parc La Fontaine. We actually used to live near there. Yeah, in the East End. Out of control. It was.
And that's when we saw the people, the cops going by with the automated creepy messaging.
So scary.
Yeah, it was so creepy.
I'm there's got to be a happy medium between the dystopian fucked up future and just sort of this thing is real. Let's find a way to make it work within reason. But the thing is that comes back to what you were saying before. The people aren't doing their bit. They're not willing to be we haven't moved. We haven't done anything. We only leave the house. We've been only for a handful of walks, 1 or 2 a week. The weather's been terrible. So it's only if the weather's half decent we go for a walk. Yeah. Every time we go, there's a million people everywhere that obviously are friends.
No, that's why we started going in the house. That's why we started going up in the wealthy area because there's just less density. That's just the only thing. It's less density because there's larger houses. So it's a family and there can't be that many people.
That's true.
Or when you go in the plateau, we're all apartments.
Yeah.
So then
we went through one part of it, through Outremont, sort of near the Orthodox Jewish area. And because they're just apartments, they were just there were groups of 20 people, no exaggeration, on the street.
Just hanging on the sidewalk.
I was
like, are you guys out of your mind?
We just zipped out of that. That's the death zone.
Yeah.
So we're never going back there again. That was just
that's over.
One idea, but it just I don't have a lot of, because we understand, if you lived here long, you're from here, right? But we've lived here long enough to understand the culture. So we know that people are just going to do what the fuck they want to do. They don't really care, and then it makes me concerned for how it's going to be over summer.
It's an interesting world, It's an interesting, but it sparked creativity. So these are the things that I like. From an actual perspective, you actually are not working in the job that you generally are. For Craig and I, it's just what we've always done. So it's not too crazy. We're just not out shooting podcasts or traveling at all.
Yeah, that's the main difference.
But I do.
Or getting our haircut. Or my haircut.
Or getting your haircut. But I do love.
You haven't let Tiff do it yet?
I thought about it. Why not? And now I just it's at the point where it's been 3 months almost, and I think I'm just gonna try and get
You're joining my force?
I might join your force at this point. I'm gonna see how that goes.
Yeah.
And if it looks okay, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'll be like.
But say for Craig's barber, this is gonna be super hard.
What's he gonna do?
I'm
never gonna get an appointment.
But he's also so close. He has to be so close to people.
So the barber.
So what's he gonna do? That's still gonna take forever. Because how in the world is he gonna?
He's my friend too, so I talked to him and I've seen him post about.
But he would have to. You could make him sick.
Capes.
He can't confirm that you're okay.
Correct. So he's gonna have to wear an N95 level mask. Yeah. He's gonna have to wear because he's doing this part with a straight razor. He's got his fingers halfway nearly in my nose. He can't. That's not safe for him to do that.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have gloves that he changes every time. He already changes the blades on the straight razor. Mm-hmm. But what's he gonna do with the clippers?
Yeah.
You can't just go put the clippers on someone's head and then go put them on the next guy's head now. Even though he does clean them and he sprays them with this stuff. Or maybe the spray sanitizer. I have seen him do that every single time.
Yeah.
So maybe the spray is a sanitizing or disinfectant.
I would imagine they would be
because there's so many people.
Yeah, with salons they do that. Yeah.
I have to pee, of course.
Go for it.
No problem. Pee your heart out.
Well, we're already been 2 hours anyway. So I guess I gotta pee too.
Yeah.
I figured we'd wrap it up. But yeah, I'm just sort of what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
To sort of be able to get around it. He's gonna be rammed. But the appointments already are sort of 45 to
an hour already, right? And he's gonna probably have to allocate an additional hour now to just make
sure
everything's
it early, sanitize
the chair, sanitize the arms.
Every time in between.
Did,
don't wait outside. You wait out there. Don't come near anybody.
You're definitely not going to sit in and wait for your appointment anymore like you used to. You have to wait in the overall lobby of spaces, for example.
Yeah, because my barber's in now. Actually, funnily enough, he's the reason we knew about our old office
space. Yeah.
So we had an office space. You might have seen some of our earlier videos where.
That's
from
high
there,
season.
We talked high season. So, sorry, this is BOS.
Yeah, I was man. so much content you're shooting. You're like,
honestly,
videos. I'm like, no, we don't ever film at our office for BAOS.
We do not. Sorry, guys. So we have 3 YouTube channels and 2 podcasts. So I get a bit confused. Yeah. So we have High Season Co., which is our social media agency. And we have a YouTube channel with social media hints and tips and tricks and that shit. Mm-hmm. So we film some there. We do a lot of vlogs. We move around. And then we have the the music stuff, which we do from here. But yeah, the high season stuff is where we went from there, and we found out about that place because of my barber.
Yeah. And we gave up our office space, so we stopped. Yeah. We stopped the rent and contract.
There's no point
because we're like, I'm not gonna go.
I'm not going there. Like, and I asked him. He was there the other day because he doesn't really have a choice, and they have this thing where you can just take a bike.
What's he doing? He's not
taking
working.
the bike.
He's taking the bike. I was like,
so like he's rocking up there. He's got a bike like on his shoulder, like a push bike. And I saw him and his girlfriend.
You get a free
stories. Bike there. Yeah, you can use it if you. So he just must be going in. I'm like, oh, how's it been? Like, is anyone there? He's like, bro, there's nobody there. Not even the person behind the desk. Like,
it's fascinating. So Matt, we were just talking about our co-working space that we were in. Yeah. And this also just shows me. This is also when we were talking earlier about like doing things for the sake of doing them, or just because it's always been done this way.
Yeah.
Our office even is a good example of it. Like we wanted the space because it's kind of like nice to have someplace different, like a different scenery, and like sometimes you don't want to be sitting in a cafe for 7 hours. We'd like that you can meet clients there and things like that. That's why we got it. But there are so many people who had these offices now where they were paying this rent and having employees come there. We're all digital. We're all online businesses. Everybody in there is. And now you have this empty office and everyone's still working and doing the exact same thing that they can do anyways. So you spent this money that you didn't really need to, you know? And I think this 9 to 5, and I saw them working 9 to 5. And it's like, you don't need to be working 9 to 5, and you don't need to be sitting at an office. Like, this moment will prove, okay, look at all your companies. Did they still thrive? Did you guys survive, or did you go under because your employees were on their laptop at home? Like, how much of a difference did that make? And I think that might hurt co-working spaces after this, because maybe people will realize, well, damn, because those rents can get into thousands. Like, why am I spending all these thousands a month, you know? You actually, your job requires a physical, requires you to be there. But there are many that don't.
Put it down. No, listen to me. But
that would be hilarious.
A lot of companies wake up and realize that they're spending all this
money
downtown to have an office space, a tower, to have. My mother, works for the bank. I won't say which bank.
Yeah.
But why does she still have to go to work? Because of paper. It makes no sense.
Is she there still? Are they making her work there still?
She has to go to work still.
Yeah. See, my mom, same thing, because my mom now, she's just in this whole new world of life that she can't believe exists, because she works for the paper in one of the papers in just Canada, and all the company shut down. Like they're on Bloor Street, shut down and moved everybody home. And everybody's still working. All the stuff's getting done. The paper's still going out. She's in distribution. All the paper's still going out. So she's able to manage everything from her computer at home. So there's going to come a time where you're like, okay, I can't imagine what the rent of off at 2 floors or 3 floors in a Bloor Street downtown Toronto must be. But my ex-boss, where we were in Montreal, she paid $27,000 a month. I imagine Bloor Street. I feel like Bloor Street must be 50. At minimum. And I feel like a $50K minimum lease per month. And so wouldn't you be like, oh fuck,
why do you need to spend
why are we spending to house all these people when the same work can get done at home? So I hope that puts a little bit of a nail in the or a dent in the we have to do things this way and people need to come in.
It's that archaic system, the 9 to 5. The boss has to be there to watch to make sure people are doing their job. It makes no sense.
She did say though that her bosses were on her ass at the beginning. They were on everybody's ass, being like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? How is it?" And then we have other clients who are startup clients who have gotten this right forever, who time is not a factor. It's projects. You get the shit that you're supposed to be done under your role is done. Great.
Yeah.
We don't care where you are. You'd be in Bali, you'd be in Montreal. We don't care. And that's what it actually should be like. Because all that matters is that the work. Does the work get done? Then don't talk to me about anything else. Can I Zoom from Bali? Yeah, I can. We're good.
Happy employees are productive employees.
Exactly. You know what's actually interesting? They work more. Because the problem is it's not they can't even self-regulate themselves at the time. Because they're sitting there and they'll just end up eating at their desk and working in lunch because it's kind of like you're already at home. And
your mom's doing more work than
my mom's working more than ever because no one's coming to her desk to hang out and talk. She's not going to lunch because she doesn't feel like you need a break because it's why I don't take a break. I'll work legit from, which I always tell Craig, which I need to stop, which is why I like the walks. I'll do 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. is my slot. I will sit and work all the way through and I've started being okay, you have to actually watch something at a certain time,
She just
close
won't have
your
a break.
laptop. I just do not take breaks. So employees would generally be doing the same thing. So they're just like, oh, you're sick, because when you eat, and you can eat and work on your laptop at the same time, so you just don't stop, really, right?
No one's watching you.
Exactly. But like they slack a lot more. I know a lot of employees are hanging on Facebook all day when they're at the office because they're like, F this place.
Yeah, now you're just getting the work done.
Yeah.
Olivier's saying it's crazy. He's at Desjardins, something like 38 out of 47,000, so 38,000 out of 47,000 are working from home, doing exactly what you do in the office.
Exactly.
So it's like, why spend the money on an office?
And then you're spending for commute. You are taking time out of your life to go somewhere. You get 24 hours a day. You literally get like 80 summers. If you really put it into perspective there.
Ever in life.
And you're the extra time that you can actually, in a healthy period, spend time and actually enjoy the sun and go for a walk and enjoy a 1 hour walk is being devoted to your commute back and forth, and your 9 to like 10, so much of your time is out, right? So anyways, I'm a big fan of people working from home and living life, so I could go on forever about it. But we all need to live our lives.
That's a great note to wrap that up. I like that. Solemn.
Oh, it's time.
Serious.
Solemn, serious. No,
Yes.
Inspiring.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
666 beers.
Exactly.
And even better that it's 0.66.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like that's actually pretty crazy, because I was even thinking about when you wrote that, it was like, I'm pretty sure there were some years I did the first 1,000 in 2 years, but then I did other years where I've done 1,000 within 12 months.
Because you did the first 700 in the first year, no? We did 700 in the first year.
I think you're right, and then maybe something like that.
Yeah,
It was 1,000 in 2 years, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to see what, like, less than 2 years. It was like 22 months or something. And then it's kind of like depends how much we travel. Like if I go to a brew pub and do a podcast, and then I might review 8, 10, 12 beers, and I review them all because I got friggin' some sort of OCD. So it kind of works out. But yeah, that is significant. I just honestly, like, that's universe shit right there.
Unbelievable.
It is, right? It's hilarious.
I feel like you guys always have synergy or something going on.
It's so easy. We could talk forever.
Right? Let's do that. Let's do the thumbnail.
Sure.
Before I forget, so people listening, or should we do it after we finish?
You can do it after we finish the podcast.
I forgot to finish the podcast first. So, Matt, we're going to stay on for the live for a second afterwards. That's what.
No problem.
I forgot I don't know why.
You forgot the other thing. I'm like, dude, the thing. You didn't even say goodbye to the audio listeners.
Yeah, that's true. See,
yeah.
I'm messing up. Matt, this is a place. Like you said, we could literally go on forever. It's just a battery thing. Where can everybody find everything you're doing online?
Yes, Vox and Hops is available on all podcast platforms or on my website, voxandhops.com. That's www.voxandhops.com. Cryptopsy, you can check us out on all social media platforms, or you can go to cryptopsy.ca, which will redirect you to our Facebook because that's what's happening with it right now. Cryptopsy just signed a record deal with a very cool record label that I can't tell you who it is, but I'm super excited about it, and that's super awesome. Vox and Hops drops 3 episodes a week, and I'm super stoked about this new thing that I'm doing where I do a spotlight episode every week, where I focus for 1 month at a time, so it's 4 episodes out of a month on different record labels. I call it the Spotlight On. This month I'm doing Redefining Darkness Records.
Ooh.
It's very cool, so I play a track from a band during my intro, and it's a band from each record label. It's very cool. It's underground bands, stuff that you should be listening to if you like extreme music, and I'm very proud of that. So
that's sick.
That's Vox and Hops. That's Cryptopsy, and check out my wife's book at Micelia Media, which the link for that is available in the description. I should have written it out.
That's okay. We'll get that fixed up and make sure. Steve, I was saying, been working the whole time. I'm watching New Legends.
Hey,
what a
Steve.
mad dog. And Jamie says, cheers, mates.
Cheers, Jamie.
Jamie is a ledge. Matty, always a pleasure, bro. I really appreciate you hanging out. It's always just a good excuse to just catch up and talk shit.
You have to do the 10 influential beer challenge on Facebook that I challenged you, though.
Yes, I did see that. So you got to post a beer a day.
A beer a day for 10 days. The beers that shaped your craft beer lifestyle.
Okay.
You got to start at the beginning, the shit beers.
Like the worst, the terrible ones.
And build it up to the ones that have shaped you to where you are today. I know these challenges suck, but that's why I started it, because it's something that we can make it our own.
I like your attitude. I like that you're not supposed to explain it, but I will. I like this.
I have to.
Yeah, you do it. It's amazing.
I'm the first.
You got to run it. No, man, appreciate you. You're a legend. We'll have you back when we do the big run with all the boys, all the other beer media nerds.
A park session would be really fun.
Yeah, and then we'll definitely do some sort of. That would be good to have something where we're in the park and we could do.
And we're really far enough apart, and we can get
the 6 feet,
the same beers. So we're not sharing.
No, do you know what?
Sharing beers, but we're not sharing beers.
There's a way to do it. So Sawdust City, who's doing this beer, Sam, he has this thing where he posts on Instagram all the time or Twitter. He's got a neighbor. He lived there in Muskoka, so they're in the sticks, and he lives near a friend. And what they have this bridge near their house, like over this little creek. So they go into the thing and they put Lysol and the bottle, and they leave the half bottle, and they have a bottle share. So it's like you bring your own glass. Someone brings the bottle, has it pre-opened, and brings the Lysol, pours their glass, leaves it there. Then you get the Lysol. You can clean your hands. You can like clean the bottle, and then take the rest of the thing. So I feel like there's going to be something we could do there that is along those lines, where we can actually share beers, but you just have your own glassware and you have your own sort of cleanliness protocols in between.
Yeah.
With like a barbecue in the background to make it legal in Montreal.
And barbecue, exactly. and hazmat suit. Steve, I said, see you next week. Legend.
See you next week, Steve.
So that'd be beautiful. So you're legend, Matt. Appreciate you. Guys, thank you so much for watching if you are on the YouTube and listening on all of the audio platforms. Thanks so much. What do I say? Fuck, I had to get into the vibe. You have like a thing?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up. I can't tell you which side that's way. Hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell,
ding,
so you know when the new video drops. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast. So check out the long form audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find your audio talky things. Leave us a review and a rating as well on Vox Hops on Apple Podcasts if you guys are messing with it, because that really helps people like us get in the algorithm over there. And I know algorithms suck, but it really is how people listen to content, and it helps us significantly. It only takes a few seconds, even if you just give it a 5-star. Appreciate y'all. I did the follow. Is that the last thing?
Yeah, we'll see you.
And we'll see you in the next episode on YouTube. I don't know why. Do you know why? Because I'm throwing myself off.
Does stuff get into you?
No, I had to spray the weed stuff.
Oh, that's why. Okay,
and I forget shit. Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Boom, Maddie.
Get it in you.
Oh, we didn't say get it in ya.
You keep that in. You're good.
Oh, we keep it in. Boom. Okay, let's get the thumbnail before I forget, because that's something I'm always just mad paranoid. What is it?
I'll give me a beer can. Can you make it bigger by any chance?
Yeah, you have to hide all the things first, though.
Oh, je comprends.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's what I
Okay, Maddie, not yet. Hold on 1 second.
I'm ready.
Cheers. Cheers, Samus. You've been awesome the entire time. Olivier?
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a cool dude.
He's a great man. Let me hold a beer.
I know. Like you gotta do, is it Command Tab? Not Tab. What's the?
I guess you don't need my mic in this. Yeah.
Hold up. What's the
Command
shortcut
Shift
key?
4.
Command Shift.
But you need this shit out of the way, right?
Okay, so you have to go like this.
Perfect.
Like that.
Yeah. Look at Matt keeps posing.
That's all I do.
Keep
That's
posing,
what
Matt.
happens when I'm on tour. People just switch.
Okay, you have to move the bottle in a bit more.
Oh,
yeah.
Matt, you gotta move your bottle in more. There you go. You good?
It's hard
It's
when
like
you do it that way.
backwards.
Yeah, it's like carbon's backwards.
Okay, ready? Okay, this way. Alright, got it. Look at that.
You guys are awesome.
Perfect.
Yay!
Okay,
Fuck, I should have made a face. I gotta be cool.
You gotta make a face like me and Matt,
Cool.
babe.
It's so silly how we have the same face.
It's actually-
it's
out of control.
As I always say, you were meant to be.
I'm sure a lot of
Ladies
people
and
think I rip
gents.
you off, but it's
No,
really,
you're doing your thing.
You're just meant to be together.
People know. We're
Bye,
actually
live guys.
We're still live.
We're actually stopping now, right? Bye,
Yes.
live guys.
All right, live guys. Thanks so much. See you next week. Peace.
See you.
And end broadcast.